And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and or listening to ABL Live. Thank you for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. Shout out to Donald Trump for running yet again. But we all saw that coming. Nobody's surprised at that particular announcement. But what does it mean for Ron DeSantis? What does it mean for a guy like Mike Pence? Who's going to be the vice presidential nominee if he's able to get past the primary, that is. We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, did you guys see the president of China, Xi Jinping, completely embarrassed Justin Trudeau at the G20 summit in Indonesia? You talking about embarrassing. I've not seen many more things more embarrassing than that. We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, what's going on with Poland? Well, the story was Russia hit Poland with a stray missile, but really it was Ukraine that did it by quote unquote accident. So now the story's gone. Funny how that works. Although Ukraine is not in NATO and they hit Poland, which is in NATO, that should be an act of aggression, but because it's Ukraine, it was an honest mistake. Don't worry about it. But if it was Russia, then it wouldn't be an honest mistake. We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, are you a transgender in San Francisco? You may be able to get some free monies from the mayor, London Breed. We'll talk about that in a minute. We got to talk about the funeral crasher, the woke FIFA boss, and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you enjoy what you are hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out a whole lot. We got a whole lot to talk about right now. We got a whole lot going on, and we will get into it. First, let's see. Where do I start? First things first. Shout out to the sponsors, of course. That's going to be the first thing, as always. And before I get into the sponsors, actually, this is a podcast you're listening to right now. We're recording it live on the YouTubes. And if you're watching me live right now, thank you. If you're listening to me right now, audio only after the podcast, thank you as well. But if you want this audio only, go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. You can find me Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. Links will be in the box, or as I said, go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search me. I'll be right there. These episodes were 100% free. This will be available at 8 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. So this episode is being recorded live on Saturday, November 19th, 2022. So tomorrow morning, Sunday, November the 20th, 2022, it'll be available audio only for free on your audio streaming platform of choice. Now, a side note, how did we get to November the 20th already? I mean, it was just August. It was just July. It was just January 2022. And now we're almost at the point where we're in Christmas. You know, I'm seeing the holiday drivers out there who have no idea how to drive. It's like you just don't know how to drive today. It's okay. I made the analogy or the comparison on Twitter about holiday drivers are the equivalent to people who only go out on New Year's Eve. You're amateurs and you're in the way, okay? You don't know how to do this thing here. I could tell you don't really drive too much when you get to a roundabout, which are all over the city, and all of a sudden you forget how to drive. You got Tennessee plates. You live in the same county because you have the plate and the county. But once you get to a roundabout, you just get frozen. It's like, okay, go back in your house and don't drive no more. Get on a bus, get an Uber, because vehicle driving and with you as a driver, it's not really it. But anyway, I digress. I just want to say that we have come a very long way in a very short period of time as far as time movement is concerned. We went from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And before you know it, it'll be New Year's Eve. You won't see Don Lemon on CNN getting drunk anymore because they ended that whole thing. That was a mess. Who said that it made sense for Don Lemon or all these other guys, Anderson Cooper, and who said it made sense for them to get on TV and get drunk for New Year's Eve? It's just kind of weird, but I digress. But yeah, Sunday drivers have no idea what they're doing. 2 miles an hour on the road. It's like, look, man, I got places to be. You were in the way, but I digress. So let's get to the sponsors before I keep getting too off track. Thank you to patriotpost.us, the best source of news and information anywhere on these internets. You can find their link in the description box, as always. Also, go to btdesigns.com. That is BHEdesigns.com for the beautiful handmade wooden flags on the right behind me. You can find their link in the description. And go to my websites, of course. You got to go to my websites. Go to anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter BLOGAN.com. For each article, for each video that I produce, to write an article for it, so I can give you context and I can provide some things that I can't put on the YouTube channel. For example, it might be a video that might be seen as too controversial, or it's too insensitive and it's LGBTQ elemental P phobic. I could put that on the website if I can't put it on the YouTubes. So go to the website, check it out, and I always link to my sources for whatever I say. So if I say something, I make a claim, I'm able to back it up with the actual sources on my website. Also, go to the contact page, anthonyblogan.com/contact. You can find my email address, my snail mail address, and on my social media platforms, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All that's right there on the contact page. Also, go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. You got hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website. And of course, all my links will be in the description box below. If you're listening audio only on Apple iTunes, for example, there should be some kind of description area somewhere. I don't know where it is. And also, if you're on the podcast platform, please give me a 5-star rating or review, whatever you can. I'd appreciate it. And if you're on the YouTubes, give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And also, please subscribe to the channel. All right, so that's that. Now, where do we start as far as these topics? We got quite a few things on deck here, and there's some things I've not covered yet that I will probably cover in a little bit on the channel. But where do I want to start? I think I want to start with let's start with woke FIFA. Now, you know what? I think about FIFA. Well, I think about the World Cup. Let's talk about the World Cup, because this is the main thing. FIFA, I guess, is also part of the issue, but the main thing here is the World Cup, right? So the World Cup is in Qatar. Now, if you know anything about geography, Qatar is like right there by Saudi Arabia. Matter of fact, it's map time. It's map time. So you might know me, you might not know me, but I'm a big map nerd, 100%. I love maps. So let's pull up the map right quick. All right. So we can kind of get a little bit of context here. So you see what's going on. You see where we are. You see this is Saudi Arabia, obviously, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, Iran's right there, Iraq, Kuwait. Now, zoom in right here. Okay. So there's UAE, there's Abu Dhabi, Dubai, all of that good stuff. All the big vacation spots with all the nice, amenities in the middle of nowhere, middle of the desert, basically. There's Bahrain, Kuwait. There's a Persian Gulf. There's Iran right there. And right here you have Qatar. There's Saudi Arabia right there, of course. But right there is Qatar. Okay. Qatar. Now, the World Cup is here. And this is the first time I think the World Cup has been in a majority Muslim place, if I'm not mistaken. And not necessarily, not just majority Muslim, but Muslim as far as how it operates. Okay, so for example, they'll have a some kind of rally or gathering out there during the World Cup, and they'll pause it because it's time to pray. Okay, if you are dressed a certain kind of way, you're wearing shorts, that's not permitted. Smoking weed, obviously not permitted. Drinking alcohol, not permitted. But you know what? I'm going to say that, and then I'm going to follow up. So I know a lot of you guys who are really aware, understand that there's more to this, and it's not just that simple. But the Muslim culture prohibits a lot of these things. And at one point, they thought they could have the drinking at the World Cup. I think there was a whole big thing with Anheuser-Busch, one of these alcohol companies. And it was $75 million on the line, and that's gone because at the last minute they banned drinking for normies. Now, that's the key word, normies. If you are a big money spender. And I'm talking about, I don't mean just like $1,000. I'm talking about if you're spending 5 figures, 6 figures, you can do whatever you want in the Muslim world. You could smoke crack, you could snort cocaine, you could smoke weed, you could do whatever you want if you got the right price. Allegedly. I don't want to say that. And somebody says, well, actually, but I have heard a lot of stories about that kind of stuff happening. You can do whatever you want. You know, all of a sudden, when you got money, it's no longer haram then, huh? If you're a normie smoking weed and drinking, you go into the penitentiary. But if you are one of the high level people, high dignitary, you got a bunch of money, a lot of influence, you can do whatever you want. And that's not to pick on Qatar or Saudi or nothing like that. It's like that all over the world, really. Hunter Biden comes to mind, smoking crack on videotape and nothing happens. Anyway, I digress. The whole point is that Qatar, somebody says you pronounce it Qatar. I've heard Qatar, I've heard Qatar, I've heard a little bit of everything. But the whole point is that the World Cup is right there, and it's very controversial because of all the Muslim stuff surrounding it. You can't drink and you can't be outside. LGBT is not really permitted. In this part of the world, you might get thrown from a rooftop, okay, for being LGBT. I'm not sure about Qatar specifically, but in that part of the world, that does happen. So they're not friendly to LGBT. If you want to drink alcohol, smoke weed, and that's not permitted. This ain't Amsterdam or nothing. If you want to dress a certain kind of way, you want to dress provocatively, you want to wear shorts as a woman or as a man, that's not permitted. It's frowned upon. It's a Muslim culture. So they already have a lot of controversy on the back because of that, because of the Muslim culture. But then also, there's a whole thing about the migrant workers. Now, migrant workers come to the Muslim world. Well, I'll say places like UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, parts of Saudi, because they could get paid a lot of money out there, more than what they would make in a place like, let's say, Bangladesh or Pakistan, where a lot of them come from. Okay, I was watching this movie. I forget what this was, and they kind of showed that like everybody in the movie was one particular race, and then there was one guy who wasn't. Oh, it was a Korean movie. I was watching a Korean movie, and then there was one guy named Ali from Pakistan, and he was like a migrant worker. Now, the way they want to portray these guys is if they are like slaves or something, and it's kind of complicated because they get treated badly. There was a study that came out that said 6,500 of these workers died after they announced that the World Cup was coming to Qatar, because you got to build a lot of stuff, a lot of the infrastructure. You got to get it prepared for the World Cup. You know, it's not just like, okay, these things already exist. The stadiums already exist. You got to get all that stuff prepared. And it takes a lot of hard labor and a lot of people. And it said 6,500 workers died. Now, I don't know if that's because they were being overworked because of the World Cup, if they already had illnesses, if they had C-19. You know, normally they would say, well, they died from C-19 and they had the virus and global warming, all this, that, and the third. But since they're migrant workers, quote unquote, then it becomes, oh, they're being mistreated by the Qataris. Could it be? I'm not really sure. But they do have really bad conditions. It's not the equivalent to being a slave, however, because they are volunteering to come out there. They go a very long way. They travel a very long distance because, okay, let's go back to the map, shall we? Let's go back to the map. Now, you see where Qatar is, right? Okay, let's not do that. You see where Qatar is. Okay, right here, Persian Gulf, Saudi Arabia, et cetera, et cetera. Now, to come from Pakistan, you over here. So that's not that close. It's not, I guess it's not that far, but it's not that close. And if you come from Bangladesh, you way over here. Okay, you pretty much, Thailand, all that kind of stuff. You about to be over there. So they come from a very long way to go to Qatar to make money. They may not get paid a lot of money in terms of what somebody who lives in Qatar would make, but they make a lot more than what you make in Pakistan or Bangladesh or somewhere like that. And they get treated poorly. But again, it's a voluntary thing. They're not being forced to do it. So there's some issues there. Oh, human rights violations. You guys hate LGBT. You said we could drink, now we can't drink, and all this and that and the third. So, was it Squid Game? It was Squid Game. You're right. Thank you, Fat B. That was Squid Game. You're right. I'm talking about the Korean movie with the Pakistani dude, Ali. Sure was. But anyway, so as a result, the boss of FIFA, what's his name? Gianni something. You guys know what I'm talking about. He came out and had to defend Qatar. Everybody wants to talk about how I pronounce it in the comments. If I say Qatar, somebody would say it's pronounced Qatar. If I say Qatar, they say it's pronounced Qatar. So it doesn't even really matter. You know what I'm talking about. It's not even important to talk about how it's pronounced because everybody's going to have their opinion and be right. But I digress. Anyway, so the boss of FIFA has come out and said a few things to defend human rights violations and all that kind of stuff. And he got really, really woke in the process. Let's see if I can find the clip that I want right here. And of course, this will be on my website as well, anthonyblogan.com. All right, let's check it out. Okay, let's get some sound. How about that?
Qatari.
Hold on. I gotta back up because this right here was the beginning of his speech. And by the way, his name is Gianni Infantino. He is the president of FIFA. So he spoke for about an hour and a half. And this is how he opened up his statement.
Today I feel Qatari. Today I feel Arab. Today I feel African. Today I feel gay. Today I feel disabled.
So basically, here's if you're Qatari or gay or African, that's all kind of like the same thing. Disabled, gay, African, Qatari, Muslim, Arab, it's all the same thing, right? That's what I'm getting from this. But I guess maybe the purpose here is to try and empathize with all different kind of people. But to me, it comes off as kind of cringe and woke.
Today I feel a migrant worker. I don't have to defend in any way whatsoever Qatar. They can defend themselves. I'm defending football here and injustice. Today I feel...
All right, so that's one part of it right there. And there's more. Let me see if I can get this tweet to load properly. Okay, here's more. Oh, and this is where he's talking about the human rights violations and how the Europeans have no way to try and be the moral police because what they did and they should apologize and all kind of stuff. So let's check it out.
We are told many, many lessons from some Europeans, from the Western world. I'm European. Actually, I am European. Not just I feel European. I think for what we Europeans have been doing in the last 3,000 years around the world, we should be apologizing for the next 3,000 years before starting to give moral lessons to people. How many of these European or Western business companies who earn millions and millions from Qatar or other countries in the region, billions every year, how many of them have addressed migrant workers' rights with the authorities? I have the answer to you. None of them. None of them. Because any change in the legislation means less profit. Instead of 1 billion, well, you maybe make only 900 million. But we did. And FIFA generates much, much, much less than any of these companies from Qatar.
So yeah, that's your man. That's the president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino. And obviously that's an Italian name. He is Italian ethnically, but I think he's from Switzerland. And if I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments below. I know y'all correct me about that one. But yeah, that's your man right there, just trying to defend Qatar because of all the human rights violation allegations and then the LGBT stuff and all that. But the thing is, y'all knew what Qatar was about from the beginning. You know what the Muslim world was about from the beginning. You know how they operate in UAE. That whole part of the world operates as in a certain kind of way, and they've been that way for a very long time. So why would you act surprised that all of a sudden this is how they are? Why would you act surprised that they say you can drink alcohol and then they say, no, you can't drink alcohol anymore because it's against our whole thing here? That's just what they do. And you can't really be getting triggered and butthurt about that. It doesn't make any sense to behave that way. Not at all. So yeah, shout out to the World Cup. Hey, I want to see, how the whole thing how the whole thing goes. I want to see the opening ceremony. I want to see some of the matches. I'm not even a soccer fan, really, but I like to go see what's going on with it and just and see if they're having a good time and if they're enjoying themselves, for sure. All right. Now, hold on. Somebody says there's a FIFA spokesperson for something beyond soccer. He's a president of FIFA. That's the big organization. So he has to come out and say certain things to defend his brand, his company. Like a CEO, I suppose, you got a responsibility to say something like that. And then the World Cup is a really big event. Some would say the World Cup is bigger than the Olympics. If not bigger than the Olympics, it's like right there close to the Olympics. It's very big. It's nothing to, just kind of jeer at and sneer at. It's a really serious thing. Anyway, I saw that Basketball Jones. Basketball Jones says FIFA president's wife is from Lebanon. I saw she had one of these kind of Arabic names. I'm like, okay, I understand. Yeah, I get it. I get it. But also, if you are the president of FIFA, you got to be able to defend your company. Now, here's one more video, and then I'll get on to the next thing. Y'all talking about Trump back on Twitter, but he won't come back. I'll talk about that in one moment. Y'all give me a second. I'll play this last video from Gianni. This is from CNN. They give a little bit more background into this story.
This tournament, it will be historic. This is the first World Cup to be held in the Middle East, but it's also mired in controversy, with much of the buildup focusing on human rights, from the death of migrant workers and the conditions many have endured in Qatar to LGBTQ and women's rights. But Infantino thinks the West is being hypocritical for criticizing Qatar.
I think for what we Europeans have been doing for the next 3,000 years, before starting to give moral lessons, this moral lesson giving, one-sided, it's just hypocrisy.
So that's your man, Gianni Infantino, talking about, hey man, y'all don't put the finger at Qatar and what they're doing over there. Point the finger at yourselves. So that's that. Now, you guys are telling me that Trump's Twitter account got reinstated? Okay. So let's see if it happened, first of all, because a lot of you guys, it may or may not be right. So is he back? Let's go. First of all, there's a poll that Elon Musk put up to see if Trump should come back or not. That poll has been completed. And okay, now we have two tweets from Elon. We got two tweets. We got one tweet is a poll, then another tweet where he confirms what happened, and then we have we can go see if Trump's account has in fact been reinstated. So let's check it out. Okay. All right, cool. We got some tweets here. So check it out. Here's the first one. Here's a poll. This is a poll where Elon says, just one statement, reinstate former President Trump. The poll had 15 million votes. 15,085,458 votes. 51.8% said yes, 48.2% said no. So the yes wins. And also during the poll, Elon was saying that there was a lot of bot accounts attacking it, And he said, okay, that's a way to kind of learn how to clean some of these polls up in the future, because the body counts are just going to, they're able to detect how the whole thing operates and make some changes. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to necessarily impact it. Like, I'm not saying they're going to make changes, make the vote go in their favor or to go in a certain direction, yay or nay. But he's able to kind of see how the whole thing operates in real time, because you put the poll out and then you're able to see the back end about how things are going. So it was a good experiment. So 15 million votes, 51.8% said yes. Now, here's the next tweet. He says, people have spoken. Trump will be reinstated. Vox Populi, Vox Dei. So that's what he says. Trump will be reinstated. And here is Trump's account at Real Donald Trump. I'm checking the spelling and everything. I went to Benny Johnson's page, went straight to there and clicked the link. This is Trump's page, and it is back. Normally, if you would go there, this would not be available. It is at Real Donald Trump has been suspended, and it wouldn't be any of this. It wouldn't be the picture. It wouldn't be nothing. But there are no tweets here, as far as I know. I don't see any tweets. Yeah, there's no tweets. Yeah. No tweets. Oh, there are some tweets. Oh, here we go. So obviously the last tweet was January 8th, 2021. And that tweet says, to all of those who have asked, I will not be going to inauguration on January 20th. So this is right. It's right around January 6th time. That's why. So this has been almost not 3 years, almost 2 years. Okay. And now he's back. The blue check mark is there. You can see it right there next to his name. So here's a question. Do you guys think that Trump will come back to Twitter? You see, there's two different things. One thing is that the account has been reinstated. But will Trump come back to Twitter and actually use it? Now, I don't think so. I do not think so. I think that he's going to stay over on Truth Social, because you got to understand, if he comes back to Twitter, that kind of kills it defeats the purpose of Truth Social. The whole thing about Truth Social was to be a platform for Trump to be able to speak freely, and others as well to go in there and speak freely, but really it's about Trump. Or I could tell you this way, the biggest draw to Truth Social is Donald Trump. He's over there exclusively tweeting. So if he could tweet on Twitter rather than a Twitter clone called Truth Social, then it would just kill Truth Social. So he has a financial obligation, in my opinion, now to stay on Truth Social, so he will not come back to Twitter, although he's being reinstated. Now, somebody said it in the chat. Somebody said that he may tweet, go to Truth Social. Possibly, perhaps. He might do something like that, promote his website on Twitter. But as far as being over there tweeting like readily, it wouldn't make any sense. Now, of course, we know sometimes Trump will do things that are just, it kind of like, why would you do something like that? It's kind of perplexing. So he could theoretically tweet on Twitter, but I doubt it. Somebody said he's going to do both. He could do both, but again, it defeats the purpose of Truth Social. Why would I go to Truth Social if Trump is not there exclusively? Because these platforms are clones of, well, Twitter is the original, and Trump's platform is a clone of Twitter. It's not different at all. It's the same exact thing. It's tweets. So why would I go to Truth Social, which is kind of problematic and buggy? It's kind of hard to find it. Can I even download it on the App Store? I don't know. Why would I go over there when I can just be on Twitter if Trump was on Twitter also? I would go to Truth Social for Trump and for other guys who are over there exclusively. That's just weird. Why can't you follow him? Well, I think the reason why you can't follow him is because there's still some restrictions on their account. They probably did a lot to that account. It probably just wasn't as simple as suspending him. It probably was a bunch of things they did. You couldn't follow him. You can't find him. Shadow ban. Like I couldn't actually type his name into the search bar and find him. I had to go to Benny Johnson's page and click, on the actual name to go to it, or I'd have to type it into the actual URL bar and go to it that way. But as far as searching real Donald Trump, it wouldn't come up because he's shadow banned. So you got shadow banning going on. You can't follow him. It's a lot going on with that account. But as of right now, that account has been restored. So we'll see what happens next. Okay, we'll see what happens next. We'll see if he's going to come back. Matter of fact, okay, I'll put up a poll right now. Do you guys think that Trump will come back to Twitter, or will he stay on Truth Social? You can't find him because he's shadow banned. You got to go straight to the actual @Real Donald Trump. You got to put it into the URL bar. You're not going to be able to search it in the search bar. So let's what's the question going to be? Will Donald Trump return to Twitter? And it's going to be yes or no. And it's not going to be any other third option. Well, will he do both? No. Will he come back? That's really it. It's kind of I guess you would say a vague question, or it can be open-ended, but I just wanted to hear you guys' reaction to what's going on here. So that poll has just gone live right now, and y'all let me know what you think. I'll report the results at the end of the stream. I'll let you know exactly what happened. I'll let you know if people said yay or nay that Trump should come back or that he should not come back to Twitter. And if you want to know what I think that Trump probably should come back, because here's the thing about Trump and Twitter. If he's going to try to be the president again, if he's going to try to run, he's going to need social media. He's going to need Twitter. He's going to need all these platforms to be able to work properly. So he can't really run a campaign without Twitter, without Facebook, Instagram, all these different things. And I'm not sure if he's banned from other platforms or if it's just Twitter. I don't really know too much about that part. But we're going to see for sure. We shall see. Okay, and I'm seeing some of the results right now. It's pretty interesting, but I won't spoil the results. I'll let you guys know the results a little bit later. I gave it maybe about a half hour or so, and I'll let you guys know the results later. Yeah, somebody says, you asked will, not should, different question. Yeah, you're right, different question. I don't think he will come back because he has a financial interest in Truth Social. Yeah, I don't think he will, but he might. So you guys let me know what you think. Will he come back or will he not come back? All right, so that's that. So again, if you guys are just now coming in, thank you for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And if you missed what I was talking about just now, Trump's account has been reinstated over on Twitter. That does not mean Trump will come back to Twitter. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. That remains to be seen. I heard that he put out a truth, whatever they call it over there, a Truth Social, a Truth Alert, whatever they want to call it. I heard he said that he will not come back for a certain reason. I don't know what the reason was, but I heard he won't come back. That was probably about 6 months ago. Maybe he said that. So we're going to see if he keeps on thinking the same thing or if it changes. We'll see. All right. But what else we got going on? We got a whole lot happening here. Oh, speaking about Trump, let's stay on that same topic and talk about Trump running again in 2024. So we all knew that Trump was going to announce, and he most certainly did. That was crazy. Like when he came out at the Ohio rally before the midterms talking about, yeah, I have an announcement to make. It's going to be another announcement next week because I don't want to distract from what's going on right now. It's like, at that point, you might as well say, hey, man, I did not eat all the rest of the pie, but there is a pie in there that has been eaten. And I'll tell you what I did to the pie a little bit later, but just when the pie has been eaten, but I'm not trying to distract. It's like, come on. So you ate the pie. Just say that. He might as well just said that he was going to run before the midterms because that's pretty much what he did. Although he didn't do it directly, he still did it. So nobody was surprised when he came out and said that he's going to run. What was it? This past Tuesday out there in Mar-a-Lago in Florida. There was no surprise at all. We all saw that whole thing coming. All right. And I think that he probably was wanting to announce that Monday before the midterms, but he probably got advised to not do it because it'd just be too much. Because the focus would shift from Trump, from the candidates who were still trying to win their elections to Trump, which would just deflate the entire room. And it kind of did that a little bit, but not to the level of if you just announced right before the midterm elections. Now, some are going to say, well, that'll really just influence people to go out there and vote, get them on their feet and go vote. But it'll also just create a big distraction. And people that are kind of like independent may be encouraged to vote against Trump, even if Trump's not on the ballot, obviously. So they'll see somebody that's conservative Republican, somebody that has kind of like a Trump lean to him, like J.D. Vance in Ohio. And they might say, you know what, I don't know about him. I might not, that's not really, I don't want to go down this road again. I don't want to go down January 6th. I don't want to go. So they think like that. Now, me, on the other hand, I wouldn't think that way, but I know how a lot of these normies are, and a lot of these kind of moderate normies feel that way. That's probably why Mike DeWine won in a big way, but J.D. Vance didn't. Why not? Mike DeWine was running for, governor, right? He stomped his opponent, but J.D. Vance didn't. Is Tim Ryan such a great candidate that J.D. Vance couldn't handle him? What's going on? But I digress. I'm not sure what I was getting at right there, but I'm just talking about the nation in general and how the normies are. So Trump's going to run. Now, here's the question I have for you guys. Will he win the primary? Because you can't just say, oh, I'm running right now, I'll be the nominee. You got to go through a primary process. And he will be primary. Yes, he will. Because some may not like that, but he will be primary. There's going to be a huge pool of people to pick from. The same way it was 2016. Remember they had all those guys I think you had Jeb Bush out there. And where has Jeb Bush been? Did he die? Like, where is he at? I've not seen him since 2016. Anyway, you had Jeb Bush. You had Rand Paul, Ben Carson, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz. Did you have at that point Carly Fiorina? I think she was out there trying to run. It was like 15, 20 guys on the stage at once trying to debate. It was a big mess. It was a big, crazy mess. It'll be the same way this time in 2024. It'll be a stage full of guys and girls trying to become the nominee. They won't just let Trump assume a nomination. But I put it to you this way. I'll say this. The bigger the pool is of people to pick from in the primary, the easier it is for Trump to be able to secure it. And I'll explain. You see, you have probably about 30% of the Republican Party that vote, of voters, I mean, not just politicians, I'm talking about voters. 30% of the Republican Party voters will vote Trump regardless. It doesn't even, you can't really change them at all. At least 30% right there. So if you have 15 guys in the primary, at 30% will still be for Trump. And all the other guys will have more of a fractured kind of base. They don't have that strong base that Trump has. So you might have DeSantis getting 15%, Rand Paul getting 5%. You see what I'm saying? It'll just kind of break down that way. Now, if it was strictly Trump versus a guy like DeSantis, then all of a sudden it becomes a little bit different. So I think that the bigger the pool is, the easier it is for Trump to be able to win the nomination. But that might be a strategy to not have a big pool. They might just say, okay, go out there, Glenn Youngkin, go out there, DeSantis, and you win it. We'll give you a lot of money from deep state or whatever, wherever you're going to, we'll give you a lot of money. Go out there and primary Trump. It's going to happen. So we'll see what's going on. Now some, I know J.D. Vance won, Ms. Adams, but J.D. Vance did not have a big margin of victory like Mike DeWine did. That was the point I was making. It shouldn't have been a close race, although it was. But I digress. The point is that Trump now she's going to run, and we'll see if he gets past the primary process. We'll see. If he gets past the primary process, I'd vote for him for sure. But I know it's going to be a hard battle because of all the independent normies who don't want to vote for Trump, who want to vote for middle-of-the-road kind of guy. You know, people say they don't like politicians, but that's not really true. They love your normies love politicians. I said that on my Facebook before. It's the truth. They want the clean-shaven, 6-foot-tall, rock solid chin, says all the right things, smooth operator. They want that guy to be their leader because they feel confident in him. They don't have the feeling of anxiety. It's familiar to them. That's why they want that. It's the same reason why these guys on TV look like that. Your Fox and CNN, clean shave, suit tie, all that good stuff. You're not going to see a guy on television talking about, you won't see a guy on TV looking disheveled like he smokes crack for a living. You're not going to see that on television as a newscaster. Not taking it seriously like that. Even if you're kind of like a casual mode, you're out on assignment, you're out at a storm or a mass shooting happened, you're still going to look very presentable, very nice. You're not going to look disheveled because normies don't like that. Normies don't like people that are kind of erratic. We're talking about politicians. They don't like disheveled. They don't like unorganized. They like things that make them feel good. That's just the truth of the matter, especially center of the road kind of normies. They want a politician. That's why these guys look that way. If that did not work, if their appearance didn't work, then they wouldn't do it. If looking like you smoke crack for a living worked, then that's how they would look. But they don't, rather than doing that, they put suit, tie, clean shave, Clark Kent, swoop bang hairstyle, the one piece of hair right there, like Razor Ramon. That's what they do. It is what it is. So that's why they want to have Ron DeSantis. That's why they want to have a Glenn Youngkin. I mean, who is Glenn Youngkin anyway? The governor of Virginia. I'm from Virginia, obviously. I've not heard about Glenn Youngkin before. He ran for governor of Virginia. Never knew who he was at all. He was a guy over at the Carlyle Group, was a venture capital firm, some kind of money firm. He was there for like 25 years, then ran for governor and won. In a blue state of Virginia as a GOP guy, which is unheard of, really, because when I was a kid, Virginia was a red state, and then it became purple, and then it became solid blue, because 1/3 of the population of Virginia exists in the D.C. metro area, Northern Virginia, and Northern Virginia pretty much controls Virginia. Terry McAuliffe was a governor before, a Democrat guy. He was also Hillary Clinton's 2008 campaign manager, and after he became the governor, he became a senator, I think, in Virginia. So you got a big swamp rat. You doing politics up there in D.C., working with Hillary Clinton, like Capitol Hill, D.C. politics. You're living in Virginia, a few miles away from Capitol Hill, and then you say, you know what? Okay, I'm right here in Virginia. I'm in the swamp. How about I become the governor of Virginia? And you win that. Okay, next I'll be a senator, and you do that. That's how Virginia is. So for Glenn Youngkin to win as a conservative Republican in Virginia was big. How did he win? Because he is a normie, middle of the road, suit, tie. That's what they want. You coming in there more radical in their eyes, they're not going to vote for you. I might like you. You guys might like them, but it doesn't matter if they don't like them. I'm ranting here, but the whole point is we'll see how Trump does in the primary. Who do you think will primary Trump aside from Ron DeSantis, the obvious pick? I've heard Glenn Youngkin. I've heard you might have Ted Cruz come back, maybe. I've heard a few names I won't mention because I don't want to spoil nobody's effort to run. You know, I've heard a few things behind closed doors, I won't say, but I've heard Glenn Youngkin for sure and Ron DeSantis. Those are the top two. So who do you think will primary Trump? Who has a chance of being able to defeat Trump in the primary? And when Trump runs, and if he was to get the nomination, who would he go up against? Would it be Joe Biden? Joe Biden will be 80 years old tomorrow. Tomorrow, November 20th, this Sunday, Biden turns 80 years old. So if he becomes the nominee again, he'd be 82 years old in 2024. If he was to win, God forbid, he'd be 86 at the end of his second term. Joe Biden, that is. So we'll see. Somebody says ABL is tripping. How am I tripping? I'm telling the honest truth. Nobody can tell me I'm lying. One thing I don't do, I might not tell you what you want to hear, but I won't lie to you. Not at all. Okay, let me see. Yeah, TJ says I live in Hampton Roads. It's pretty red. I disagree with that. I'm from Hampton Roads too. Portsmouth, not red. Norfolk, not red. Maybe Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, maybe a little bit, half and half. Not Newport News, not Hampton. Maybe parts Chesapeake and Virginia Beach are red, but that's it. Suffolk maybe a little bit, but nah, the rest of the place is not red at all. You know, Bobby Scott's district is not as blue could get. But anyway, Fetterman, like, yeah, I've heard people say Fetterman should run more than once. Do you guys know Fetterman is 6'8"? He's a giant, a whole orc, like a video game orc. He's the kind of guy that you go to for a mission. Okay, run to this giant orc and say, hey, man, I need 15 cocoa beans. Where do I find them? Go left. Go right. That's John Fetterman, a whole video game NPC, a quest giver. So back to the who should run, who's going to actually try to primary Trump. Dick Cheney would try to primary Trump. Dick Cheney has got to be in his 80s. How old is Dick Cheney? Or you talking about Liz Cheney or Dick Cheney? I know you're talking about Dick Cheney. He man about 85 years old. He's 81 right now. He'd be 82 in January. You're talking about Liz Cheney? She's no spring chicken either, and she has no ability to win. She's not a very likable person. She couldn't win her own race in Wisconsin. How's she gonna? I mean, in Wyoming, how's she gonna win? Trying to become the nominee, it won't make any. Well, she might try to run to get her name out there some more, I suppose. Or I'm not really sure what the point of that would be. Let me see. Pompeo, Kanye, who has Water Warcraft orc, exactly. Dream analogy. You guys keep saying Fetterman. That's hilarious. If to try and primary. Well, he wouldn't primary Trump because he's a Democrat. He might try to run against Trump on a Democrat side, but he won't try to primary him. Yeah, Pence could actually have some success. That'd be fun to watch if Pence tried to primary Trump. That'd be very fun to watch. But I think that'd cause a divide. That'd cause a really big divide within the GOP. It'd be, in theory, it'd be entertaining, but in reality, I wouldn't want to see that. That's not really what I'm trying to see at all. Okay. But I'll keep on moving here. Rand Paul, I do like Rand Paul. I'm not sure that Rand Paul can win an election, national, like to become the president or the nomination. But I like Rand Paul a lot. I like him a whole lot. But I think he's best suited where he is right now in Kentucky as senator. Trying to become, the president, vice president, I don't think he is suited for the job. Kari Lake, I don't think so. I don't think we're ready for a woman to be head of state. Not in America. I don't think so. Because the truth is, Hillary Clinton had everything in her favor to win. Well, not everything, but I will say everything, because the 2 times she did run, she had a really good chance of winning. The first time in 2008, everything was lined up for her. But America said we'd rather have a black president for the first time than a female president that's what it kind of boiled down to, in my opinion. And also some policy differences, but really the main thing was they're not really ready for a woman president. So I don't think Carly has a chance. I don't think any female has a chance to become the president of the USA anytime soon. It's not me talking. I don't want anybody to get offended and say, oh, you hate women. No, I love women a lot. I promise I do. But I'm just saying what the average normie in America thinks. And the proof is in the pudding. Hillary Clinton got stomped out, twice? To become a governor or something like that is different. To become a governor, a senator, House rep is different. With the president, head of state, not yet. The closest person would be Hillary Clinton. She had everything in her favor for the Democrat side. Name recognition, you were Slick Willie's wife, the first lady, they know you are. You had experience before in office in New York as Secretary of State, all kind of. You already have experience. You already pretty much been in the machine in D.C., in the swamp. They know you are. They love you on the Democrat side, I suppose. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. And you still couldn't win. Michelle Obama, no. You know what? They would have already run Michelle Obama if they thought that she could win. But they know, like I know, that you cannot have a woman president right now. A vice president, sure, because we don't vote for the vice president, do we? That's appointed by the president. Okay, I have a running mate. I'll just pick them. You elect your vice president, your vice governor in states, but not the vice president in the federal government. You elect the president, not the vice president. So you can have anybody be the vice president. You can have Hunter Biden be the vice president. He could be right in the Rose Garden smoking crack as a vice president. You can't do nothing to him. I did not vote for that. Yeah, you didn't vote for that. You voted for the guy who appointed him. You voted for the guy who made the bad decision to vote for him, to put him in there. Candace Owens, I like Candace Owens, but again, I think if she were to run, she have a good chance of being able to win. But still, it wouldn't be quite enough to overcome the woman thing. All right. So somebody says that DeSantis said he's not going to run, and there's video of it. Let's check it out. See if I can find it. Let's check it out. If I can find it, I'll put it on the screen. If not, then it doesn't exist. Hold on. I don't see it, so maybe it doesn't exist. If I do see it, then I'll check it out. So Michelle Obama goes on TV a lot because she's trying to promote a book. She's trying to promote different things. Michelle Obama will do what some want Trump to do. Michelle Obama will just be out there as doing PR for the Democratic Party. That's all. I saw her on TV talking about hair. That's a really big issue of black women, hair, hairstyles and textures, all kind of stuff like that. So she'll go on there talking about that kind of stuff. It's like, hey, I can relate to her. I have hair issues too. I'm forced to wear a certain kind of style to go in corporate America. I can wear my natural hair. So she's there for that purpose, to just be PR for the Democratic Party, but not to actually try and become the nominee for anything. I don't think that's what is going to be happening. All right. So yeah, I can't find that video of DeSantis, but we'll see what's going on. If you're coming in just now, thank you for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere in the internet. So like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. People are saying right now that Trump's back on Twitter. His account is back, but he's not back quite yet. So we're going to see if he comes back. There's a poll right in front of you if you're just now coming in. And the question is, will Donald Trump return to Twitter? Again, the account's been restored by Twitter, so the account is visible. You could go follow it. Maybe you can't follow it. I'm not really sure. But the account is not suspended anymore. But the question is, will Trump actually return to Twitter and use the account? Because he has Truth Social, and he's over there doing that. So if he comes back to Twitter, wouldn't that kill Truth Social? Because the whole purpose is to see him over there tweeting exclusively on a different platform, not on Twitter. So wouldn't that damage his company financially if he went back to Twitter? I don't know. But anyway, let me see. Let's keep on going here. We got a few more topics on deck. Let's talk about the funeral crasher, shall we? Now, have you guys seen this, the funeral crasher? So I can't hide the poll on the screen right there. I can't hide that. It's just right there. So it is what it is. You can still see the chat. It's just not as big as it was. But I can't actually change it. I'm sorry. But the funeral crasher, have you guys seen that? So there was a young lady named Samantha Foss. She's 19 years old, and her father was a guy by the name of Donald Foss. Donald Foss was a billionaire on the Forbes list, worth $2 billion, and he made his fortune from the auto loan industry. So she has a charmed life, lived in the $7.8 million mansion, goes to the school in Atlanta, Georgia, for like $55,000 a year, living a very charmed life, nice life. The dad was not a deadbeat. The dad was always with her. The dad was married to her mom, grew up with her, raised her with the mom, from what I'm able to see. Yet, and still, when the dad dies, the daughter goes to the funeral and pretty much just, I can't even really put it into word what she did. I got video right here, of course. Let me try to find it on my website. But there's a whole lot that I got to say about that. So, and for context, the dad was white, Donald Foss, and her mother is black. So she's biracial. And this is what they call the tragic mulatto syndrome, I guess you would say, where the mixed, sometimes mixed people feel like they don't really belong to one place or the other. They're not quite black enough for the black folks, not white enough for the white folks, so they feel like they don't really belong anywhere. And then they kind of act out as a result. And a lot of these people end up doing stuff like Black Lives Matter. And also, not only the tragic mulatto does stuff like this, but also people that have a lot of money. So she has a lot of different things working against her. Got a lot of money, tragic mulatto. You're inundated with TikTok propaganda talking about the white man's the devil, the white man's evil, blackity black, black, black this, blackity black, black, black that. So you're just confused. 19 years old, don't know what to do. So all of that results in her going to her dad's funeral and saying this. Let's put it on the screen right quick.
And what you are is a racist, misogynistic, xenophobic, Trump-loving, cis-straight white man. With that, please know that while I am grateful and highly aware of all that you give in this family, I still don't miss you. When you died, I felt like there was a hole. I missed something, but it wasn't you. It was the idea of what you could become. I missed being able to hope and wish that one day you turn a corner and see the world from my perspective. I missed the idea that one day you might help me fight for the things that matter. I missed my fantasy of you. Because when you died, it solidified the fact that you'll never be what you could have been, but only what you are. And what you are is a racist, misogynistic, xenophobic, Trump-loving, cis-straight white man. That is all you will ever be to me. And Dad, before you tell me to respect the dead, please remember that you disrespected and disregarded the lives and deaths of entire communities of people with your ideology.
Let's pause right here. So it's like a funeral right here, or a funeral or some kind of thing, some kind of a memorial service. And she's eulogizing him like this. Understand that.
You told me to never back down, so I won't. You know for a fact that even against you, I'm not afraid to share my peace. You are everything I aspire not to be, and I refuse to stand up here and sing the praises of a man who is the paradigm of white supremacy. So I'll take your racist mindset, I'll take your money, and I'll take your advice. And I swear to God I will make this world a better place. Not at all because of you, but in exact opposition to you. Thank you.
The clapping right there is crazy, because I tell you what, if that was my family on either side, and anybody did anything like that, like, see, that right there could be, I'm not sure if it'd be a fight right there, but it'd be close to it. She could not complete that particular line of, like, as soon as it got into the whole racist, xenophobic, and the negative stuff, there would have been a guy or two or three on stage to remove her from the stage. Politely, respectfully, it's like, look, okay, you can't say this anymore. It just wouldn't go down. Now, in some parts of the world, some parts of the country, that'd be an automatic fist fight. Okay, that red afro getting slung around like it's a helicopter. You're talking about a whole mop is getting drug on the ground. You understand what I'm saying? She be like this, like upside down, mopped on the floor. That right there is crazy. I would never do anything like that. Even if you feel that way about your father, save it. Okay, save it. Talk to the therapist. Talk to the therapist. Talk to your mom. Talk to somebody about that, but not right there at the funeral. Especially when the dad gave you a charmed life. Elite college, $1 million mansion, was married to your mom, helped raise you. He was there with you all the time. Let's continue here. There's more video from her. And you're going to kind of understand why she was feeling this way. And also you're going to kind of understand why they say you should ban TikTok. Why that's like seen as a form of digital fentanyl by some people. So if you guys can't see the screen, this is a TikTok video. And the caption says, when my dad wants me to spend time with him, and she looks sad, like that's a bad thing.
Insert cash.
Okay, there's music here, so I don't want to get striked. She's speaking, but it's just like she's talking about music lyrics. So this is really weird. This is a TikTok of pictures, and I guess he had liver cancer, and they showed, and she showed like a slide of liver cancer, and pictures of her when she was a baby. Really weird. And then there's a cake that says, "Oh, your dad died." This person right here is dealing with some serious issues. Like, talk to a therapist. Like, get on somebody's couch and let it all out, because you holding on some things right here.
How does it feel to have a racist dad? when you are what he hates. He fights to keep the poor man poor and make America great. He can't see that his kids are dying, we're the ones he wants locked up. And he can't fight for his kids that aren't white if he just wants to stay stuck.
Okay, so you guys are kind of confused, like what's going on here. Let's back up a little bit because you don't know what's going on. So this young lady right here is Samantha Foss. She's 19 years old. A video of hers went viral when she was at her dad's funeral reading a eulogy, and she said he's a racist, sexist, xenophobic, Trump-loving, cis white man. It went viral. And now we're looking at other videos from her to give you more context into who she is, okay? And she is biracial. Her dad was white. Her mom is black. She's got a lot going on here. This is an original song for her dad. So she's writing songs for her dad, doing TikToks for her dad. There's a lot of love for her dad, but the love is misguided because of some things that are going on inside her brain.
I knew that a time would come where I couldn't tell him thank you. And now the time has come where I can't tell him thank you anymore. And while he has done a lot of negative he's done a lot of positive for me too that I'm very thankful for. And I just really want to remember to tell the people in my life that I appreciate them and I'm thankful for them. Even the people that I have beef with, even the people that I'm not so close to, I want them to know that I'm thankful for the role that they played in my life and making me the person that I am. The Black experience is literally an experience like...
So yeah, there's a lot more here. I don't want to play the whole thing. But she's talking about the Black experience and trying to go to a Black college. She's just trying to find her identity. I've seen this before too. Like people don't really fit into either Black or white. They have identity crisis. So they try to go to a Black college and try to get that type of... They try to be around more Black people to feel a certain kind of way. You know, I can understand. I've not been there myself personally because I always lived in Black areas. I never lived in a really like a white area ever in my life until even right now. I really don't. I didn't move to a place that was not majority Black until I got to be in my 30s. So I can't say I relate personally, but I can empathize because I can just put myself in her shoes and see where she's coming from. But still, to go to your dad's funeral and do that, You have some really great family members that did not go up on stage and drag you off the stage by the Ice Spice red top. That would have been all over the ground. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, she definitely needs somebody to be there for her, a shoulder to cry on, a therapist, for sure. Because I tell you what, when she gets to be older, she'll regret what she did at that funeral. She sure will. 19 years old, with that kind of mind state, you're still a baby, really, mentally. Once you get to be 30-something years old and you got 15 cats in your house and they fight for position on your lap, you're going to be like, what did I do with myself? But anyway, I digress. Her college friends may have urged her to do that. She's going to college in Atlanta. She's from Michigan, not Detroit. I'm not sure where she's from, Michigan. But she's from Michigan, lived in a very nice area, probably all-white area, then goes to Atlanta to try to get more black, right? trying to get more black in Atlanta. And a girl like that in Atlanta, a girl like her in Atlanta, man, go back to Michigan, please. In Atlanta, you are not where you need to be. Not at all. Okay, you can run into all these little scrappy, little pistol starter, all these little rappers and entertainers out there. Man, I'll move right along because I only want to go down that road. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. Thank you in advance for doing that. Now, speaking about cringy videos, have you guys seen the Xi Jinping and Trudeau exchange? So, at the G20 summit in Indonesia, you have some heads of state there. The Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, and the Chinese President, Xi Jinping. Now, Xi Jinping and Trudeau were having a discussion off camera, not in front of anybody, about some things between Canada and China. I think there was a concern about Chinese influence in Canada and some other stuff. This was off the camera. It was not for public consumption. But what happened is, it got leaked to the media, and Xi Jinping did not like that too much, and he put him aside and said, "Hey, let's not do that. Let's not do that anymore." But this time, rather than the discussion being behind closed doors, it was out in the public. And I'll find that right quick. In just one moment, y'all hang tight. And going back to the whole thing about the girl and her dad, yeah. I love Atlanta personally. I love Atlanta. Atlanta's a great place to be. If I could move to any, I guess you would say big city, it'd be Atlanta. Atlanta, to me, somebody said it best. It's like New York with space. If New York was not so cramped and crowded, it'd be Atlanta, basically, in my opinion, with fewer Italians and Jews. Okay, it's not so much like Eastern European immigrants. It's more like international. Everybody comes to Atlanta. It's black folks, it's white folks, it's Indian, Arab, whatever you could think of in Atlanta. But anyway, yeah. A girl like that in Atlanta ain't gonna be nothing but just nah. It's not really good. But anyway, I digress. Let's go back to the to Xi Jinping. So here we go. And this video is the best video because it shows the entire thing. You see, some videos cut it off before they show exactly what's going on. All right. Oh, and also, yeah, as far as New York with space, it has more space and better weather because I'm not walking in snow. I'm not shoveling snow. I'm not doing any of that. In ATL, I don't got to worry about snow. It might get cold, like 45 degrees occasionally. But aside from that, it's not going to be too much snow. And if it does snow, it'll be for a day or two, not all this 15 feet of snow. I'm not going to be able to do it. All right. I might actually move down to Atlanta right now. I don't know, but I like kind of where I'm at. Okay, let's not get sidetracked as I do all the time. Let's go to the Trudeau video right quick and keep on rocking here.
Everything we discuss is then leaked to the paper. That's not appropriate.
而且我们也不是那样进行的，没有。
And that's not how the way the conversation was
如果
conducted.
有诚心，咱们就用一个互相尊重的态度来进行很好的沟通。
If there is
否则，
Now, that was pretty important right there. What just happened? I don't know if you caught it. So, if you couldn't hear the interpreter is saying, okay, we had a discussion. It got leaked to the press. That wasn't how it went, etc. But this is being recorded here. There's a camera recording intentionally. Okay, the sound is there. You can hear what's being said. The interpreter was kind of in between Trudeau and Xi. He gets out of the way so you could see the two of them clearly. So this was a very orchestrated and planned thing to embarrass Trudeau, 100%. Let's watch it one more time if you can't really see what I'm saying. So the interpreter's right here interpreting what Xi Jinping is saying to Trudeau, but then he moves.
尊重的态度
Watch.
来进行
See, look, he moves out of the way so you can see them clearly. So the camera can see them clearly.
好的沟通。
if there is
否则这个结果就不好说了。
if
In
there is
Canada, we
sincerity
believe
on
in
your part.
free and open and frank dialogue, and that is what we will continue to have.
Now, you see the body language right here? Like, this right here was crazy. The body language all over the place. Xi, look, I said what I said. I'm not trying to make eye contact. I'm just like, all right, I'm turning my back on you at this point. I'm not trying to hear what you got to say. I'm pretty much dismissing you right now. That is what I see from Xi Jinping.
We will continue to look to work constructively together, but there will be things we will disagree on.
I'm sure he speaks English. Speaking about Xi Jinping, that is. He'll speak Chinese because, first of all, you don't want anything that you say to be misinterpreted. And you also want to have your people back home hear you clearly. Okay? So, you know, China, they speak Chinese. It could be Mandarin, Canto, whatever it is. They speak Chinese. So you're talking not only to Trudeau, but to your people back home, your 1.5 billion constituents back home. But you can see the body language, going back to that, as Trudeau was talking, Xi is like nodding his head. He's understanding what he's saying perfectly well.
You will look to work constructively together, but there will be things we will disagree on, and we will have to
些可以建设性，但是 Let's create the conditions first.
I mean, just like he was listening to him, he was like, all right. And then he put his hands up and it's like, okay, let's do this. And when he does that, it's like, okay, we're over with, done. You got it? Okay, shake your hand. Come on, shake your hand. All right, get out of here. That was crazy. Totally crazy. And watch Trudeau try to walk away. Watch this. It's like, what are you doing? What was that? What was a little hitch in his hip? What was going on there? That was absolutely crazy. I mean, it's embarrassing. I feel bad for Canadians who have their guy going out there getting talked to that way by Xi Jinping. But it's his fault because there was a private conversation that got leaked to the media and Xi Jinping didn't like it. So it's like, okay, you want to leak stuff to the media? All right, well, leak this. I got my interpreter right here. I got my camera crew right here. We're going to put this right here all over the internet, and now you're going to get embarrassed. So don't do it no more. That's what happened. Exactly what happened. All right. Boot in the butt. Yeah, pretty much. Got his hind parts handed to him right there by your man. He sure did. The penguin walk of shame. The penguin walk. Man, that walk of shame was something else, wasn't it? I mean, good grief. So yeah, shout out to your man, Justin Trudeau, for getting completely torn apart by Xi Jinping, the president of China. Okay, now the poll, I'm gonna end the poll right here, and you guys can watch the results come across the screen. So like I'll end the poll, and then you see the results come across. So right here, before I end the poll, it says, oh, and the question was, will Donald Trump return to Twitter? 70% say yes, 30% say no. Now, again, the context was Trump's account has been reinstated on Twitter, but that may or may not mean that Trump himself will come back. You see, the account is back, but will Trump come back? It's two different things. Will he go back to Twitter and start tweeting again? So you guys think he's going to come back? We'll see. I think he probably won't come back because he has True Social now. If he comes back, that kind of ruins True Social. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. Now, some are going to say that he will tweet on his Twitter account and True Social. Some say it'll only be the Twitter account. Some say it'll only be True Social. I think the latter, and I think most think the former. He'll do both. That's probably the prevailing thought process, that he'll do both and not just one or the other. But we'll see. He using it in 2024? Absolutely. Absolutely. Twitter and Truth will merge? I don't think so. I don't think Twitter needs to do that because there's a bunch of other platforms that are just like Truth Social. Parler, Gab. There's a lot of these kind of Twitter clones out there. And it's like, what's the point? What's the point of having a Twitter clone? Have a new kind of a platform. TikTok is its own unique platform. YouTube, unique platform. Facebook even, Instagram, Twitter. These are all unique platforms. What's the point of having a clone of a platform that already exists and is very popular? Why? It don't make no sense to me. I don't understand. If Trump had a new platform that was different, that'd be something I would think about. But a clone of a thing that already exists, I don't understand. It don't make any sense to me. Right. But we'll see. Now, if Trump became a nominee, I'd vote for him for sure. If he becomes a nominee, I'd vote for him. I don't see why I wouldn't vote for him if he became the nominee. I definitely would, for sure. All right. But anyway, did I get to everything I wanted to get to? Oh, let's talk about San Fran and the whole UBI situation. So, in San Fran, the mayor of San Fran, London Breed, has announced a program to give transgender citizens up to $1,200 a month for up to 18 months. So you're getting $1,200 a month with no strings attached for up to 18 months. And you'll be able to apply for this thing. And if you get accepted, you'll be part of the program just getting this free money. And they'll have 55 slots available. Now, my question is this. How do you apply for a thing like this? What are the qualifications? What are you going to, like, you got to prove anything? Because anybody can identify as transgender, right? It's about how you feel. It's about what you think. It's about just your everyday movements. Okay, you could be looking like Bob the Builder. You could look like John Fetterman, right? A 6'8" World of Warcraft orc, clearly male. You could be the humpback dude from 300, clearly male. And you know what? Okay, now I identify as trans. How can you tell me I'm lying? Because it's about how I identify. How can you prove a thing wrong that can't be proven right? You see, how can you prove that somebody is trans or not? Now, you have some things like, obviously, if you had a sex change or something like that, but still, doesn't that just mean you had a sex change, you had surgery? You might not be trans. You could be something else. I've seen a lot of things on the internet, a lot of these videos on YouTube. You got guys dressed like women talking about they're not transgender. You got guys that got breast implants and BBLs that are not transgender. So I don't really understand how you're going to prove it. But you got to apply for it. And of course, you will be given preferential treatment if you are in certain kind of categories, right? If you're disabled, if you are a homeless person, dealing with addiction maybe. So if you're a homeless crackhead, you'll be able to get some more money to further your crack career, I suppose. Because, okay, look, check it out. If you're homeless and you smoke crack for a living and you get an extra $1,200 a month, where's money going to go? Are you going to go get an LLC and start a business and become successful overnight? No. You're going to get more and more crack. You probably would die from overdosing because then you're going to get a hot dose of fentanyl and then it'll be a wrap. So I don't understand the purpose of this, but, you know, I've stopped trying to rationalize the left. I've stopped trying to rationalize them. I've stopped trying to make sense of what they do because it doesn't make sense. I can't make sense of the senseless. Okay, giving out free money to people that say they're transgender. But back to what I was saying. So if you're homeless, if you smoke crack for a living, if you are a person of color, any kind of other extra minority, you'll be able to get preferential treatment. So if you just happen to be a regular normie white trans person, then get to the back of the line. Okay, if you're a biological male trans into female, if you're basically Caitlyn Jenner, get to the back of the line, sir. And take these size 15 Nikes with you. Okay, take these decathlete Nikes with you. Get to the back of the line. You're not getting any kind of money. But Flame Monroe, this black LGBT 6'8" streetwalker, okay, front of the line. You get the money first. That is San Fran in a nutshell. That's California in a nutshell in the liberal places. If you're living in California right now, I feel sorry for you. If you're in a more moderate place, a conservative place, I feel sorry for you, man, because your state is controlled by these weirdos in San Fran and Los Angeles. It's a mess. And TikTok, I see why they want to ban TikTok. I've seen so many different things that come from there with this community talking about crazy. There was a video I played at the beginning of the trans video, of the UBI trans video, where a biological male was talking about that biological women do not own periods. So how can you say that biological women don't own menstrual cycles? My thing is, sir, would you want to just go through some cycle? Like, do you want to have your cycle? Is that what you want? You want to have a cycle? Because I don't know about y'all men out there, but I do not wish to experience a cycle. Because I see how crazy y'all get when you're on a cycle. I don't want to experience that. I don't want to start crying for no reason. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to just act a fool just out of the clear blue sky. Can't even control it. I'm cool. I'm cool on that. I don't want to be sad and then at the same time happy and at the same time glad and anxious and nervous. I'm cool. But you got these guys that don't really care about facts. They care about just, I don't know. I don't even know what the whole point is. It's just really weird. It's really weird. Hold on. I'm going to find that video right quick that I'm talking about. Then I'll keep on rocking. All right. And I'm going to do a video, I think, on Monday about the whole situation with that girl that got killed in Mexico. I'm going to do that video, I think, on Monday. You'll see that one. All right. Oh, and I got more videos for you guys as well. Some ridiculous stuff that you may or may not have seen. So y'all hang tight. And hold on. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Here's the video. Now, this person right here, I don't know this person's pronouns, but I'm seeing this big, crazy shoulder neck area. So I can presume that this person, when they were born, they gave him a blue blanket, right? They gave him a blue blanket, and now they identify something else. I'm not sure what their pronouns are, so I don't want to make an assumption. But let's go ahead and roll this clip right here, and be ready to cringe.
This is what I mean when the transphobia just comes out. The audacity and just the arrogance for cis women to believe that they own periods, that they own womanhood. You don't. Okay, you don't own periods. You don't own womanhood. You experience both, and both are different for every person. But as a cis woman, it doesn't belong to you, so you can't gatekeep it. Like, hello?
I mean, that's what's going on. But who wants to actually experience that if they don't have to? Why would you want to try and take that over? Why would you want to try to get into that sphere? It's like, hey, women, you don't own periods. I guess the whole thing is you could be a person who was born as a woman and is no longer identifying as a woman and still have your cycle, I guess. But at the end of the day, biologically, when you were born, they gave you a pink blanket. If you can have a cycle, they gave you a pink blanket. Men cannot have that. It doesn't work like that. Okay, the dad wake up and see a man with a baby in the belly, like an actual biological male. You got your twicking berries and the baby at the same time. Holla at me then. Holla at me then. Okay, your plumbing ain't right. Your plumbing's not equipped for that. Your plumbing is not equipped for that, sir. And why would you want that? But okay, I'm getting triggered. I don't want nobody to. You called her sir. I don't know what the person's pronouns are. It was so easy back in the day. Even when a person was like a cross-dresser or a transvestite or whatever, you could still say the pronouns sir and ma'am. You could still say that and they wouldn't be tripping. Like, I got an uncle that cross-dressed, and y'all know about that. He not hung up on the whole pronoun thing. You know what I mean? You call him a he, she, he'd be fine with it. And that's the original pronouns right there, won't it? He, she. But if I say he, she, that's somehow offensive. But aren't I giving you more pronouns? I'm giving you the pronoun gift. He and she. I'm being very gender neutral. I'm saying both because I give you both. You're male and female. How about that? Oh, but I can't do that because although you look like you play basketball for a living, you know, you crash rebounds for a living, you play in the NBDL or overseas basketball, you play over with in Taiwan with Dwight Howard for a living. Okay, I still gotta call you ma'am. Anyway, I'm getting triggered, so I digress. So here's a crazy video as well. Now, this one, I'm not sure when this was, like the exact date, but I'm sure it's in the past 2 years, sometime right after the bug started up until now, but I'm not exactly sure when it started. So let's watch this video right quick.
What are you, COVID cleaner? COVID cleaner? Are you for real? What the fuck? That's something out of fucking...
Sorry for the curses. It's not my fault. Blame the white man. There's a few curses in here, so if you got little kids, cover their ears.
Hey, bruv, Titan.
Watch this.
Do you really have to wear that? Do you really have to wear that? What are you doing? Why are you taking photos? You're not even doing it, you're just doing that for paparazzi. Why are you doing this? You're not even cleaning. You're not even cleaning, you're just taking photos. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're not even cleaning. What are you doing? Is this for the media? Is this for the media? Who are you? What are you doing? You're taking photos for the media. Why are you dressed like that? Why are you dressed like that? You're taking photos for the media. What? Helping! She's not doing nothing. Get all here to make fear in people's heads. There ain't a pandemic. Take your mask off and all. Look, you're taking photos. You're not even doing it, but listen. All you're doing is taking photos.
This right here, this freeze frame encapsulates the whole scamdemic. A scam. Now, here's a question I have for you guys. How much do you think you guys are getting paid to do this? How much did he get paid to go out there and take pictures? To dress up like that, to take a microfiber cloth or whatever it is, paper towel, and put it on the ATM machine or whatever that, a ticket booth. Like, what is dollar amount for that? I was reading the comments somewhere. It might have been on my video or somewhere else. A guy had a contract to clean hospitals during the virus for $75,000 a month. $75,000 a month to clean hospitals during the bug. Okay, so this guy right here, he's decked out. He's got a partner with him. What's the pay rate for this? It's got to be pretty big, I would presume. Okay, minimum wage, I doubt it. Minimum wage, nah. But he's literally just posing for pictures, like not even cleaning. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. that whole 2020, 2021, but definitely 2020 was a mess. People were so scared. They were so scared that they, like, this right here was not even seen as a bad thing. It was just like, whatever. Put your mask on. Take the dirty rag and clean up behind yourself. A picture of somebody cleaning was seen as real. All these videos from China were seen as real. People passing out. This was a whole big mess. It was crazy. And people still are afraid to not wear their mask. It's like, sir, ma'am, your mask is not going to help you. It's not going to help you. And it's funny because, monkeypox came around, right? That was a whole big thing for a minute. And all of a sudden, it wasn't a big thing. And you know why it wasn't a big thing anymore? You know why? Because they realized that it was coming from the LGBTQ community. And as soon as that, and not only the LGBTs, but specifically highly promiscuous gay males. Okay, if you were a normie gay dude with a husband or something like that, or a boyfriend, and y'all weren't really just out there slinging wood like that, then y'all weren't really in a situation where it would be a problem. But if you're just out there just doing whatever, you were a prime recipient, a prime, I guess you would say, host for the pox. When they realized that, it's like, okay, let's back away from that whole narrative. Let's back away from that. But the virus is still out there. Now they're saying get your flu shot. And then they told us that the flu took a vacation. It's like, for real? It took a vacation? How does a virus go on vacation? You tell me that. It took a vacation and everything was COVID. It's like, man, I will never forget this whole moment in time. But I knew from the beginning it was BS, really. I knew from the jump it was BS. I mean, I knew that the whole lockdown thing wouldn't do anything. I knew the masks wouldn't do anything. I knew the vaccines were not going to help. I knew all that from the beginning because I feel like it's just kind of common sense, right? You know that a vaccine is brand new is not going to work that well. And because you can't know how it's going to work in the future. You can't know long-term effects. You can't know what's going to happen 20 years from now with the whole asbestos thing that happened, Camp Lejeune, okay? The toxic water, all that kind of stuff. If you watch TV at all, you watch Fox News or something like that, you're going to see, okay, Camp Lejeune, mesothelioma, all kind of stuff all day long. But back then it was fine. It wasn't a big deal. Burn pits, all of that. It was fine, not a big deal. Now all of a sudden you got cancer and people, mesothelioma, they got all kind of stuff as it relates to things that we're doing back in the day. I figured it'd be the same exact way with the vaccines, and all of a sudden, myocarditis, a rise in infant mortality. Okay, we see what's going on, but I digress. I don't want to get nobody on my case and try to flag me. Oh, misinformation, whatever. We know what's going on. Hey, the Camp Lejeune commercials are crazy. Every 15 minutes, Camp Lejeune. And I see my main man from back in the day, Don McCarty. If you're from Virginia, you know about Don McCarty. Remember the song they had? I don't want to sing it right now, but Joins and Bieber, and then it became Joins and McCarty. He's been around for forever. You see these guys on TV, Lowell the Hammer, Stanley, all these people. They have these really tough sounding commercials, these kind of like ambulance chaser type people. Anyway, I'm getting away from the point. So is that everything I wanted to get to? Trump 2024. Poland. I don't got a lot of time for that, I suppose, but I kind of already covered that too in a prior video. So we got super chat songs. I'm gonna get to those right quick. Then I get to the calls a little bit later. The number to call 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. I'll get to the calls in a few, so y'all just hang tight for me while I get to the supers here. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. I'm gonna find that video that I'm talking about. I won't sing it. Yeah, I'm not ready for that singing voice yet. You know, I gotta get tuned up a little bit because my voice right now is not really the way it's supposed to be. So I can't give you a subpar performance with the singing. So I'll find the actual video I'm talking about, and then we got super chats on deck. Let me see if I can. Hold on.
If you've been injured,
here's one video from back in the day, but this ain't what I'm talking about, I don't think.
In an accident and it wasn't your fault, you need a lawyer. Call the guy Tom Cruise played in the movie A Few Good Men. You know, the one who takes on the colonel and demands, "I want the truth." His name is Don McCarthy.
Oh, was that him? I had no idea.
And if you've seen the movie, you know he won't stop fighting for you until you get the justice you deserve. Call him right now, 963-2800. That's 963-2800.
Yeah, that's the old Virginia, yeah.
A Few Good Men to work for you. Call 963-2800 right now.
I remember that dial tone, but that wasn't the video I'm talking about. I'm talking about Joins Macari. But I remember that video too, that commercial. Hold on, I'm gonna find it because now I gotta just bring it up. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Way back. 93.
You've been hurt in a car accident, dealing with the insurance company can leave you feeling mighty small. Hi, I'm Joel Bieber.
Look at these graphics. Wow. Throwback for real. A lot of y'all weren't even born yet when this came out. I remember this very well.
If you've been hurt, you don't have to be alone. At the law firm of Joins and Bieber, we can help you. We offer free consultations and we'll even come to you. Remember us, Joins and Bieber.
Go Joins and Bieber.
So that the end part right there, the Joins and Bieber part, that was replaced many times throughout the years. Joins Macari, Joins and X, Y, and Z, Joins and whatever. This is an old commercial. No area code. You already know what it is. If you're living in Virginia, you already know what it is. At this time, it was 804 for the whole state. It wasn't no 757 yet. It was 804 for the whole state, so you already knew what it was. But yeah, now you see that same guy from the other commercials and now Camp Lejeune commercials. That's why I was getting at with that. So yeah, shout out to the old school Virginia stuff, a little nostalgia. But I digress. Yeah, no area code. You already knew what it was. You were in Virginia, so you know it was 804 back then. So let's go to the supers. As I said, I was going to do from the beginning and didn't do it yet. Where are we at? Thank you for God and Country who says, you and Tatum rubbed me the wrong way over Trump. Hey, man, you got to get over it. You know, I don't know what to tell you, man. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to Joseph A who says the upside down smiling emoji. I appreciate you for that. Thank you to M. Fisher for the thank you emoji. Thank you to Wesley OG Live. Oh, I tore your name up. I'm sorry. Wesley Ogilvy, who says type 5 of Kanye was right. Thank you to Spitfire for the Fox whispering emoji. Thank you to Ren Warrior, who says, I have bad grammar and I don't know how I got here. Well, hey, man, welcome anyway. Thank you to What vs. Winship, who says Biden.com is still redirected to the Alzheimer's Association. Hilarious. Thank you to One Man Army, to Electric Boogaloo, who says, as a current Army active duty soldier, I hope Trump takes the dub. What vs. Winship says, Trump may stay off until turmoil at Twitter stops. If it folds, he can say, I could have saved Twitter for Elon, and if he asked nicely. Hilarious. Thank you to Mike H, who says, make mean tweets great again. Thank you to Vincent Williams for your donation. Thank you to Rogue, who says, that girl is absolutely foul to her dad and did her dad dirty. Yeah. Bob versus Windshield says, Michelle Obama for president. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want my surgeon's wife operating on me. Thank you to Rita's Lover, who says, hi, ABL from New Mexico. My family loves you. Thank you for that. I appreciate y'all. Rita's Lover again says, hi, ABL. I read that one. Thank you to O'Reilly, who says 29,000 subscribers to go, ABL. Yeah, trying to get to that 1 million. We'll get there soon enough. And thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says the left is the way they are because they're boring. You got it. Right on point. All right. Time for the calls. You guys know what it is. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Yeah, 304 in West Virginia. It's been that same way. It's just one area code because it's only about 10 guys that live in the whole state. It's a very small state, so there's no need for a bunch of different area codes. You know, Virginia, you got 757-804-434-540. And then the Northern Virginia stuff is a whole different ball of wax. Then you got D.C. So, yeah, it's crazy. The 202s. You got some 202s in Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, let's move on here. The number to call, you already know what it is in the description. Also, at a certain point in the ticker, there's also a Skype email in the description box if you want to call in through Skype and be right there in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen talking about whatever's relevant. Let's go ahead and get to it. If Skype doesn't work right, it's not my fault. Please blame the white man. Don't blame me. Calling, speaking to 860.
Hey, ABL, it's F&A Ranger Xbox. How you doing, brother?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
You got to get on Wimkin. I've been on there for months. I haven't been banned for 30 days yet. I've got 5 more days on my Facebook ban. But I want to talk to you about that G20 summit real quick.
All righty.
Bill Gates was talking about how all the countries need to institute death panels for you people that are too injured, too sick, and too old to be worried about paying for any medical care.
Wow.
And then, who was he? Who elected him? And then Klaus Schwab gets up there and gives this great big old speech.
Yeah, it's like, why was he?
Go ahead. I'm sorry, brother.
It's like, why was he? It's like, why was he there? Is he head of state? Like, why was Klaus Schwab there? You know, that's pretty telling that he was there giving the speech.
Oh, heck yeah! We need to get rid of all these people that are tied in. This John Kerry and Al Gore, whatever we got to do, we got to get rid. They want to reduce the Earth population by 95%. I think the Earth would be better off if we reduced the Earth population by them.
Right, there you go.
Exactly. I mean, because, you know, you're not allowed to say kill. That's violent. We reduce. We don't kill.
Right.
So anyway, but, now getting on to Ukraine real quick before I get off of here, because I want to keep it short and sweet, because you got a lot of great callers I like listening to. Ukraine. Did you notice that our government sending billions of dollars to Ukraine? Then all of a sudden they found out that Ukraine is sending the money to FTX, and FTX is sending the money to Democratic politicians. And my favorite rhino, whose wife's family has a shipping company, and China builds the ships and supplies the slave labor crews, Mitch McConnell. But do some research on Mitchie there. That's why Mitch is a rhino. That's why he's always voting. Oh, yeah, he got $2.5 billion out of that deal, or million. I can't remember if it's million or billion. But Mitch got a lot from FTX to screw over the Republican Party in the primaries, or midterms that we had.
Right.
But now, on that note, did you notice that the moment that FTS come out, all of a sudden Russia attacks Poland?
Allegedly, right?
Did you notice? What a coincidence.
Right. Great timing.
Wow. So anyway, in closing, and to tie it all together, because remember in 2015, Jacob Rothschild said that Putin was committing treason to the New World Order. and his granddaughter, Greta Thunberg. She's the little climate princess.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. See, but Sam, the CEO of FTS, now, you know about his parents and his girlfriend's parents being high-level MIT and I think Stanford's the other one. But do you know what his aunt does with the same name?
No.
So she's an epidemiologist for the World Economic Forum. Now, prove me wrong. I would rather be a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist than an idiot wearing my blindfolded mask on my face. They want to give you a digital ID because that's your ear tag like a sheep or a cow. And they want to feed you bugs and tell you what you can and can't do. That's how they see us. They look at us as lesser beings.
I see.
Anyway, ABL, I'm going to close with that. But everybody out there, that's once they make a digital currency, you no longer earn your money because no matter how hard you work, they can take it away.
Right on.
Anyway, brother, you take care. God bless, and get on Wimkin. They love you there. It's free speech. You can do the combined feed through them too. You know more about that stuff than I ever will because I don't care about it. Anyhow, God bless, brother. You have a great night. Great show. God bless America. Bye.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. All righty. Let's get to 918. You know who I'm speaking to.
Hey, what's up, ABO? It's JV Scotchman from Oklahoma. How you doing, buddy?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Hey, not a lot, man. Yeah, I'm just enjoying the show as always. And, well, I can't believe already all this presidential talk, and we're still 2 years away. And I'll tell you what, man, I got some breaking news for you. Okay. Well, the last couple of years, I've been working on a special project. And that is a time machine. And I went 2 years in the future just today. So I know all the exact results from what's going to happen in the presidential election and the primaries and all that.
Okay.
If you want, I can spoil that for you right now. I mean, I could. This is breaking news.
Okay.
I know exactly.
I got you.
Okay, good. All right. Well, first of all, nobody is going to primary against Trump. Not even DeSantis.
No, you don't think so?
He's happy where he's at. No one. It's just he was the first one to come out of the gate swinging, and everyone's like, you know what? It's his. Just give it to him. So that's how that's going to go. Now, on the Democrat side, of course, there's going to be a lot of people in the primary, like Newsom, Warren. I mean, Bernie might even still try to get in there, and Swalwell is going to be in there, but Newsom's going to win the nomination, and he's going to get Eric Swalwell as his running mate. But now here's the big deal, okay? The RNC convention, when Trump comes out and accepts the nomination, his running mate, you'll never guess who it's going to be.
Who?
Tulsi Gabbard.
That's interesting.
Yes. And between those two, it's going to be just a blowout election. It's definitely going to, because we got a lot to fix. And also Biden's not even going to run. He's just going to, he needs to get some medical issues or whatever. Yeah, he's not even going to bother to run again. So yeah, it's going to be Trump and Gabbard in 2024.
We'll see how that works out. That sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah. But that's all the information I can give right now. I didn't get Powerball numbers or anything. I can't change time like that. I'd be messing with the whole, a lot of strange things. So, But that's my breaking news for everybody here. Yeah. So that's what to expect.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Love you, man. And love the chat and your show. And yeah, have fun, buddy.
All right, now. All right, great call. Got a future person came back, told us what's going on. Y'all speaking to 910?
Yes.
All righty, what's going on? You're on the line.
Is this Anthony?
Yes, it is.
How you doing, sir? I got to tell you, I respect you very much. I've been watching you for quite a while, and I'll tell you, I got to pat you on the back right now. You know, everything you're doing the news for other people and on other things. I got to tell you, I've watched you progress, and you are awesome, dude. You have definitely grown, and I really dig what you're doing. I was in the service. I was in the Marine Corps. I know you were in the service. And, buddy, we're about the same age. I'm a little older than you, but this ain't our world. And this is messed up. And we need more people like you to keep going. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, it's all a bunch of bull. And I have a feeling, because you're African American, because you're in the service, because of what you're doing, I have a feeling you had a grandmother or a grandfather or a parent that really pushed you towards God. And we always got to remember, it doesn't matter about DeSantis, it doesn't matter about Biden, it doesn't matter about Trump. If we turn away from God, we're going to lose. And that's how I feel. You know, I think Trump is the better situation right now. I want to see some of them people suffer pain for what they've done to this country. But at the same time, you know, those are God's children too. So we got to forgive, but we just can't forget. But I just wanted to pat you on the back, my brother. You're doing a good job, and keep doing what you're doing, because we love you out here in North Carolina.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, man. You keep going, brother.
Will do. Thank you. All right, shout out to the caller. And I got to clarify, I was not in the service. I didn't want to interrupt him while he was talking, but I was not in the service. I don't want to, take credit for everything I didn't do. My dad was, my uncle was, but I was not. Let's go to 503 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hey, ABL. Thank you so much for answering my call. I guess I'm known as the Dirty Portland Conservative on YouTube. How are you doing tonight?
Well, how about yourself?
I'm doing good. Don't want to take up too much of your time, so I just want to talk a little bit about my day, and then also about some midterm election celebrations. So, sorry, I'm so nervous, but so me and my husband just had our first baby, which I'm so happy about. My daughter is so beautiful. And today was the first day of her 2 months of being alive that she actually was away from mom and dad. And she was with grandma and grandpa for like 6 hours. And it was so nice. And she had so much fun. She got to see her cousin and her grandma, her grandpa, and her uncle. So always good to share some good positive stories. So I just wanted to share that. It makes me so, so happy. The other thing I wanted to talk about was I live in Clackamas, Oregon, which is kind of on the suburbs of Portland. And I used to live in Portland, Oregon, but I moved out, obviously, into like the suburbs area. It's not exactly where I want to be, but I could be further, but we do what we can. So, but the celebratory reason I wanted to call and talk about the midterm elections was because Joanne Hardesty, like the people call her kind of like voodoo witch doctor looking, like Skeletor lady, she was voted out of city commissioner, and we are all so happy. So thank you to everyone who came out and voted in Portland, and yoo-hoo! So thanks y'all for taking my call, and have a great night.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Yeah, have a good one. Bye.
Yeah, I saw that lady, that skeleton looking lady. Like, she looks very scary. So I'm glad she got voted out. Hopefully they have a better person in there to replace her. 786 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Mr. Anthony Brian Logan, how are you, sir?
Oh, well, man, how about yourself?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. It's great to be back with you again. just wanted to say real quick that my wife and I did watch the G20 from Indonesia because that is her home country.
Mm.
She is Indonesian, and the sad thing about it is I saw probably what was the worst case of elder abuse in history. And that it's having President Biden there.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know how much of it you saw, but he was just so out of it. It seemed like he couldn't engage with anybody. All the conversation he had, someone else had to engage with him. And at one point, even too, unfortunately, he repeated an Air Force One, going up some steps, and the president of Indonesia, Joko Widodo, who's called Jokowi for short, had to catch him.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and they had a big gala dinner, but none of the cameras were on Biden, and it turns out he wasn't there. It just was past his bedtime.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was just anyone to see the videos. I mean, looking at that, I don't see him finishing out this term, to be honest with you.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't see how he does. Maybe they just keep him away from anything. They try to do the whole basement thing they did back in the day. I don't really see how he's able to, continue here.
But at one point, I did have a sense of relief when he did one thing during this one meeting when you were sitting outside underneath this roof-like structure. I forget. My wife told me what it's called in Indonesia. He's wearing the aviator glasses underneath it, but at one point, he did relieve me because after looking at him for a while, he finally turned his head because he was so stiff I thought he died.
Wow.
Really bad. But I just want to say also real quick about that girl that really bashed her father at a funeral. I had my whole family die on me in my mid to late 20s.
Wow.
Myself.
Your whole family?
My mom first passed away. Yes. My mom passed away when I was 25. A year and a half later, I lost my dad.
Wow.
And 9 months after my dad, I lost my brother, my only sibling. I mean, I had one brother and no sisters. And he passed away 9 months after my father. And, to hear the just disingenuous gratitude from this girl, it looked like her father treated her really well and all that. I do thank God himself that I wasn't there at that funeral. I probably would have walked up to her and slapped her in the face.
Right.
God hold me back for that. I mean, how ungrateful you have got to be.
Yeah, that's really crazy. Like I was saying, I mean, I was surprised that there was so much restraint in the audience because something like that going on, I can see that going a completely different way depending upon who was in the audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. And and one other thing too, I owe you an apology, or I'll apologize on behalf of my people. I am a white man. I know your show was delayed. Start a little bit early. You said blame the white man. I accept the blame for you on behalf.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
All right. Making it brief because you got 10 million to 1 callers and that many topics. So I wish you best evening. Best evening.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Sure thing.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. All right. Let's go to 416 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, Anthony. This is Hyphen. How are you?
I'm well. How about yourself?
Yeah, can't complain, mate. I thought I'd give you a call. I heard a speaker earlier, and I thought I'd pick up on a couple of his points, which I thought were excellent. And he was talking about the G20 and Klaus Schwab, and how can this man possibly be trying to run the world when he's not even elected by whom exactly?
Yeah, I was kind of worried about that. It's like, how was he on stage talking? He's not head of state, so why is he there? It was pretty interesting.
No,
it was telling that he was there.
He was in Davos as well. He was in Davos, right? Because, I mean, the whole point is these Marxists, they want to introduce this Marxist, communist, socialist-style scenario in the Western world. It's as simple as that, isn't it?
That's what it looks like to me, for sure.
Well, I thought the Americans were the last bastion with your Constitution, but they seem to be chipping away at the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, I don't know, whatever amendments you want to talk about, attacking Trump for all these years, for crying out loud.
Right, yeah.
I think they squeaked through that FTX thing. What was it, $40 million to the Dems for the midterms?
$40 million, that's correct. A lot of money. He was the second biggest donor to the Democratic Party. Beyond George Soros. He was number two.
Exactly, and Soros, of course, is a WEF agent, right? Philanthropist, world domination kind of guy as well, right?
That's correct.
Wasn't Soros the one buying all the DAs out from U.S. Cities?
I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Hey, I heard another figure about that FTX thing as well. Is the mother apparently she through one of their organizations, because apparently they're all like I don't know what do you call them, corporations that are all intertwined, as it were. But I heard a number of 140 million from her corporation.
Wow.
So 40 million plus 140 million. So that's, I mean, I heard some other numbers too, but I mean, I'm suggesting to you, live, of course, that this whole shenanigans was $200 million to the Democrats for the midterms.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It definitely does.
Well, anyway, so you guys got to look into that stuff. Just as a matter of interest, by the way, what about FIFA? Do you know the issues now that are going to be in FIFA and Qatar? Have you any idea what's going to happen over there?
I don't think anything's going to happen. I think there was just a little bit of controversy because of the so-called human rights violations. So you had the guy, Gianni, go out there and just try to clear things up and smooth things over. But there won't be anything that really happens because it's the World Cup. You're not going to cancel the World Cup. And it's already going on. So it's just some controversy.
No, but let me give you a different angle. Did you hear that Budweiser has now been disapproved to be able to produce give alcohol there in the World Cup?
I did see that. Yes.
Right. So think about this for a minute. You've got all these people flying over there, and most of them are from Western countries, and most of them like a few beers. What do you think is going to happen when you get a few rowdy footballers and they've had a few beers on the streets of Qatar?
Yeah, that'd be a problem. Yeah.
I will remind you, Americans, there was a girl that went over to Russia as a basketball player, and she took a little lead with her. And look, she's in jail now for what, 7 years?
Yeah.
Right. So what do you think is going to happen in Qatar when all these footballers decide to drink a shitload of beer? You know, whether it's English guys or Polish guys or French guys or whatever, because they're not going to be interested in what would the word be, acknowledging local rules, because they don't understand that the Muslims over there, they don't drink.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, that's a head up for one thing. The last thing I'm going to just suggest to you is you were talking about Trudeau. Actually, one guy was talking about assisted deaths in America. So I don't know if you know this, but Canada has come out with assisted deaths. Last year, there was 10,500 assisted deaths in Canada.
Wow.
That's through the government of Trudeau. Now, bear in mind, if you really want to talk about numbers, I mean, there was maybe 25,000 people died of COVID, maybe 20,000, who knows? But the bottom line is we're talking about last year, 10,500 assisted deaths in Canada under Trudeau and the Liberal government. How do you think about that?
That's a crazy number because really that's just called suicide. So that's a really big number. I'm pretty surprised.
Well, you know, the left want to make it sound nice, so they say assisted death. But yes, it's suicide. It's people want to take suicide, and the government is allowing people to take suicide. And I'm talking about 10,500 people. Look it up on the internet. I'm sure you'll be able to find that number because I've looked at the numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't you think that's scary?
That's very scary.
Anyway, to leave on a most positive note, there's a commission in Canada right now because when Trudeau pulled the War Act, I like to call it the War Act because they call it the Emergency Act now because in 1982 they wanted to soften the language, right? So it was actually the War Act in Canada, and in 3 times in Canada's history, the War Act has been used. World War I, World War II, and for your American listeners as well, what they call the Quebec crisis, where there was some kind of, bombings and some assassinations in Quebec in Canada. And so Trudeau's father pulled the War Act. And it was after that they changed the name to what they call the Emergency Act. So I think personally, and if you want to hear this, Trudeau was listening or following in his father's footsteps, although that could be Cuban style. But anyway, that's another story. But the whole point is that he pulled this war act, which they call the Emergency Act, on these truckers. Now, the whole point is all these truckers were peaceful. And that's the commission is now finding out that there was no violence. There was one Nazi flag, some, person brought it in. There was one Confederate flag. The guy was dressed like Antifa. You couldn't see his face, and he was kicked out. And they used that kind of language to poison, in the news against the truckers. But all these truckers were peaceful, right? The government was complaining about their bouncy castles, for crying out loud.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's always just about painting a narrative rather than the actual facts, unfortunately, with a lot of people. But thank you for your call, man. I got a few more calls online I got to get to. Thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you for listening, and happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Same to you.
All right. Bye-bye for now.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And I know they don't have that in Canada with Thanksgiving, but they have Boxer Day or something like that. Well, shout out to the caller. All right, Tariq, what's going on?
Hey, ABL, did you see they let the Great White Hope back on Twitter, man?
Yeah, I saw that.
Hey, it's about to be a storm tomorrow, man. But, here's what I think is I was losing a lot of trust in Elon because my thing is like, listen, you can talk all that free speech stuff, but if you don't let Trump back on, all of it is BS, man. Because Trump was unfairly banned, man. I'm sorry, man. The liberals keep lying about him having an insurrection on January 6th. But when you look at his tweets were saying be peaceful, respect the law, and I believe another one was saying go home or something like that. How is a man who leading an insurrection saying be peaceful? You see, the liberals know they are playing on the American public's ignorance by lying. These people, to me, it's slanderous. And, I don't know if Trump has a defamation case, but the more they call that man an insurrectionist, that to me is slander because there's no proof. You have no proof. He's not been indicted on anything. So why you guys keep saying that he lost an insurrection with a bunch of unarmed white people, unarmed, going to the Capitol, unarmed, was going to storm it and take over the world's most powerful government? What does that say about our country that we allow a bunch of unarmed civilians with the world's most powerful military? We got nuclear technology. We got satellites in space to allow people to just take over. It's like, bro, people are stupid, bro. And the thing is it's the media has dumbed down a lot of Americans. Any American that repeats that, I'm sorry, I look at them as if they're an idiot. Because I asked them, like, you think that we just gonna sit back and just allow this country to be overthrown? For that to happen, Trump would actually have to have control of the military. And then he would have to move the military in, and the military will have to disobey the government and listen to Trump. Then you could say that's an insurrection. But a bunch of angry white people, that ain't no insurrection. That's just a regular protest. But the media knows that. And they're used. And, it's sad we see Republicans like Meghan McCain and these irrelevant Republicans who got the loudest voice just repeating that crap. It really is, bro. When it comes to Trump, when I notice with people just don't like him because of his personality. They never really say anything about his policies, bro. They all have these just emotional reactions against Donald Trump. And that's why they want to censor and silence him, which shows how weak this country is becoming. And, a lot of it has to do with the liberal media always, treating minorities as we're just these snowflakes that you can't just say anything bad about us. You can't say anything bad about women or any group. It's just stupid, man. So I am happy Elon Musk did that. I believe he did that because that stupid council. I don't know if you remember. You remember when he said he's going to refer to a council of people?
Yeah, I saw that.
Now, when I first saw that, I thought that was BS because I'm like, come on, man. You know how these councils are. These councils are mostly liberal. To me, they are anti-American. Anytime you're pro-banning people, I think that's anti-American, man. That goes against the First Amendment. But What I strongly believe what happened is that council was not letting Trump back on, because there's no other reason why Elon would go to Twitter and have a poll like that. I think they said no. Elon gave them the middle finger and said, "Well, I'm gonna let Twitter speak." And to me, I thought that was tacky. I thought he should just let him on. But regardless, the polls, we won and Trump is back on. And I think that's why Trump is back on. I believe the problem Elon Musk is going to have going forward is advertisers. Liberals, like I said, liberals, unlike conservatives, liberals mobilize, liberals are not going to stop. I believe they're going to pressure advertisers extremely hard to make sure they stop advertising on Twitter, to destroy Twitter's way of making money. That's a form of cancel culture, always attacking your pockets. I think they're going to do that. You're going to see a lot of blue check mark celebrities urging people to leave the platform as well. So I sincerely hope that Elon Musk quickly comes up with a way to monetize Twitter that is not so dependent on advertisers. And I do think the $8 a month blue check may be a good thing, because if we keep relying on these stupid advertisers, they're just going to be pro censorship. And the other thing is, he's got to watch out for the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. Liberals, they use whatever they have. I think he really needs to work on the Twitter website just in case they ban him. But other than that, man, this is a victory for free speech, man, and a victory for America, man. We cannot be this country that sits there and silences one side of the aisle while allowing the other side to say whatever the heck they want. Influencing elections. That's how you influence elections. When you ban one side from speaking and you allow another, that is election interference. And one more thing I got to say, man, the heck with Facebook and Google, YouTube. Like, the heck with them. I was watching CNN and they was like, excuse me, sorry about that. They was like, Elon should have waited on Facebook. The heck with Facebook. Screw Facebook. Facebook banned Trump on the most dumbest reasons. First of all, Trump didn't even say anything on Facebook, but they said some nonsense like, we're going to keep them banned until the hostilities die down. Like, these people, man, these liars, what hostility? There is no hostility. It was just a protest. Like, what are these people? Are Trump supporters going around killing people? Or are they burning down businesses? Like, where was that same stance when Antifa and Black Lives Matter was literally burning down business, hurting people? People are dying. These people are frauds, man. And I can't wait till like Facebook shuts down. And I do hope Twitter comes up with the way to compete with YouTube, man, because this censorship nonsense is really psychologically programmed to stop people from thinking and forcing ideas into our heads, man. And that's all I got to say, bro.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, take care.
All right, great call. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you enjoy what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Yeah, people were saying that Trump is back, but I'm not sure that Trump is back. I think his account has been reinstated, but that does not necessarily mean that Trump himself is back. That just means that his account is restored. So we'll see if he comes back. That's going to be a thing that we got to keep an eye out for. 914 online. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, ABL.
Yes, who am I speaking to?
This is me, AJ from New York, and I just wanted to ask you a question, because I remember earlier you were talking about how the normie, they usually vibe with people who are dressed like a politician and all of that.
Absolutely.
So I was wondering, like, then how do you think someone like John Fetterman won?
Well, John Fetterman won because people just voted Democrat anyway. And that's, you're in the blue state, Pennsylvania. They're going to vote Democrat anyway. And if he was not brain damaged, it would have been a wider margin of victory, in my opinion. And also, Dr. Oz was not a great candidate. So you don't have a great candidate to take away from people's default vote. Now, I'm not saying Fetterman was a good candidate. Don't misunderstand me. I'm just saying the default vote was Democrat anyway for a lot of people. So they were going to do that. It didn't matter who was there. I think a dead guy won. It doesn't really matter. They're going to vote Democrat regardless. But when the debate happened, that kind of changed it because some people hadn't voted yet, and they're like, "Oh no, I can't vote for that guy. He's not really there." So the margin of victory was smaller than it would have been. It was much bigger. You're talking about the governor's race. Doug Marciano got stomped into wine. It would have been the same way if not for him being brain damaged.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. So how would you think that, like, if someone like John Fetterman could win, and you know, it's unfortunate that like he has that brain damage and stuff, but I'm just saying that like, if someone like him could win in Pennsylvania, then how do you think we could like change that really?
I mean, there's not much you can really do. You got to just be able to change the culture of the state. It's like trying to, if you're in the blue state, it's going to be hard for anyone other than the Democrat to win on a statewide thing. Now you could go to certain parts of Pennsylvania and win in a local race, a house or mayor, township government, something like that. But a statewide race in the blue state is pretty much going to go one way, unless you change the culture of the state. They did that in Florida when you had DeSantis to win. He barely won, but he was able to change the culture of the state, make it be more attractive to conservative people. If you don't do that, you're gonna have a hard chance. You're gonna have a hard time. And also, like I said, get better candidates. Dr. Oz, I mean, he's okay, but you got to get a guy that would fit better in Pennsylvania for what they want to attract some of the moderate and people that vote either way for their election.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Someone like a Glenn Youngkin. I feel like Dr. Oz is a little out of touch in a way.
Correct.
Yeah, but those are my only questions. I would say so far it's been a pretty cool stream. So keep up the good work, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, have a good day.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, man. The thing about Dr. Oz. Now, again, like I say, I'm not saying Fetterman was a good candidate. Don't misunderstand. But what I am saying is that Dr. Oz was not good enough to bring people away from their default vote. They were going to vote Democrat regardless, so it could have been a whole corpse in there, which it kind of, I don't want to say that, but you understand kind of what I'm saying here. Let's get to some more calls. Let's go to 484 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hello, Anthony. This is Joshua.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, I had a comment to add to Tarif's point about the the insurrection, or that's what the left is calling it. Frankly, I think it was just a riot, and people just got rowdy. I think Tarif was mentioning about the one time that the military was being held back, and he kind of said that let me try to get my thoughts clearly, was the fact that if Trump really wanted to get the country to be overthrown, he would have called in the military to actually help them succeed in that situation, but it really didn't happen that way. So it's kind of weird that the left would actually think that that would actually be the case. My personal opinion, though, is the fact that the left still had the issue with the fact that it took them, I think, maybe about an hour and say 40 minutes, or maybe an hour and a half. I don't know the exact timeline to respond to it. And I've heard Brandon Tatum, which I wish a lot of people would actually hear it, is from a policeman's standpoint in the training, is that they usually take like an hour or so to discuss the situation before they actually go in and try to approach. They can't just understand. They can't take the time to actually evaluate what's happening in, say, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. It really should take maybe say 20 to 30, because it's function like a hostage situation. So that was my thoughts on which Tarif didn't really add to that point, but I think it should be well noted. Other than that, I also I don't want to take too much of your time, so I'm just going to make this other point, and it had to do with the guy who was trolling those people. I don't know in which country that was. Maybe I think in England, correct?
What do you mean? I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry. The guy regarding COVID.
Oh, the cleaners, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, quite frankly, I understand where he was coming from, but I think he was going a little overboard on it. I think he was just totally like being an idiot. But yeah, that was just my thoughts on that. I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't know what your take is on it.
Well, I got a question. Why was he being an idiot? What about that made you say that he was being an idiot?
Well, it kind of looked like they were just sterilizing the place, and I don't know exactly what the conversation was all about.
Okay.
But it kind of looks like they were explaining the thing, and then he just wouldn't let it go. That's the point that I was
okay,
making.
so maybe you didn't really see what was happening. What they were doing was not cleaning. They were just taking pictures of somebody that could be cleaning. Because if you noticed, they were in two different places. And in both times, they had the rag or whatever it was just stationary. There was no movement. There was no bottle spraying any kind of chemical. There was nothing. They just put the rag down and paused for the picture. And then they went somewhere else, did the same exact thing. They just paused for the picture. They were not cleaning. So it's like, okay, why are you guys dressed like this? Why you guys have all this stuff on and you're not even cleaning? You're just taking pictures for the media. So I think that was the whole purpose, to blow that up. It wasn't like they were actually cleaning. Now, if they were cleaning, then I will understand that it was dumb, but they were not cleaning. They were just taking pictures, pretending to clean.
Okay, and I think you might have mentioned that, but it just wasn't registering to me before, so I apologize for that.
It's all good.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't want to take any more of your time, so I'm just gonna leave it at that, and I'll let you get back to your calls then. Thank you.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Yep. You're welcome. Bye.
Yeah, that was the thing. They weren't actually cleaning. They were pretending to clean. It's like, man, come on, what are we doing? Like, if you're going to clean, but you're just putting the rag down and taking the picture, talking about, okay, now I'm doing something. You're not doing anything. You're just, that whole thing was a mess. It was a big, crazy mess. All right, let's go some more here. Number to call, 434-658-1220. 912, you're on the line, who am I speaking to?
This is Ernest from 912 in New York.
All righty, what's happening?
I was just wanted to talk. Actually, thank you for taking my call. I was surprised I was going to make it. The first thing that came to my mind was about our transsexual that actually wanted to go through the menstrual cycles. I just don't understand why they would want to go through that. They are not born, like you said, they're not born with those parts. So I don't understand why they feel like they have to also take that from our natural born women and ladies that are going through those things, because it's painful for them. Yes, it confirms if they're going to be pregnant or not pregnant, things like that. But I don't understand why they feel like they also have to take that as well. Another thing that I wanted to mention was the funeral crasher. I saw that earlier when you mentioned it, and I felt so bad for that young lady. I know she's biracial. She has the opportunity to learn more and get more in depth on both sides, both in the African American and in the Caucasian community, but she's not really accessing that and learning what she really can. And she was coming so hateful at her father, especially at that funeral. And I felt really bad for her during that time. I also felt that mama, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, somebody should have escorted her off that stage. She didn't need to be expressing that on that platform at that time. That's something she should have taken to mama personally or in therapy, whatever the case may be. Aside from that, also, yes, and me, myself, I am more of a moderate, more centralist, but tends to still lean more on the liberal side. And even though I'm not a big fan of Donald Trump, I do understand as a businessman, I have to give him credit. You don't become a billionaire and having series of in both Celebrity Apprentice, Regular Apprentice, for many series and things like that, being someone that's dumb on that end. As a businessman, yes, he is smart. And piggybacking off of Tariq, people don't like him because of his personality. I do agree with that. He's a little bit brash. He's hardcore. He's a very strong alpha, and he's just going to say it exactly how it is. And for some people, that rubs off the wrong way. But thinking about coming up for 2024, I know he just announced that he is running. I think that a strong ticket could be Trump and DeSantis, but I would have it DeSantis and Trump. I know that would not work because Donald Trump wants to be the front man. He wants to be the true alpha, and he wants to be in front. But I think DeSantis should run. I know you mentioned something that earlier that DeSantis was not going to run for 2024. I think it would work for him too because he's have great momentum right now. We're seeing how he handled Florida when they went through the hurricanes and things like that, and he's been doing very well. I think DeSantis and possibly Tulsi Gabbard could be a strong ticket because you get both sides. Tulsi was still more on the liberal, but she still leans more in the moderate, so she could bring some of that left side with it. Ron DeSantis, he's a strong conservative, so he's already bringing that right side with it. And I think they could work very well, especially comparing her to the VP that we have right now. I am thankful that we have a wonderful African-American woman that has stepped up to be the vice president, but at the same time, what is she doing? She's very silent and she's very in the back and we're not hearing much. And I wish she would step up forward and do a little bit more and being a little bit more present in what we're doing right now. And I know I've been talking a lot, but that was just on my mind. And I was actually very shocked that I got on here, but it was a pleasure to be able to speak with you. And I don't want to take too much more of your time. I know you got calls, but please feel free to add what you would like. And I appreciate you for having me.
Thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That was very well said. Couldn't really add too much to it. Yeah, Trump would never be the guy like on the back end of the ticket. That's why when people talked about Trump could be the Speaker of the House, I'm like, no. If he can't be the president, then no, he wants to be the guy. You know, he's already been the guy. So why would he take a downgrade? That would not happen. I don't see that happening anytime soon. So that's just what it is. Right. But what he said right there about not Tulsi Gabbard, but Kamala, it's like, what are you doing? You're just kind of there. It's not, you gotta actually work if you're gonna be in the office. 623 in the line, who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes.
Is this ABL?
Yes, it is.
Oh, this is Kong from Phoenix. How you doing?
I'm well, man. How about yourself?
I'm cool. Are you still following the Arizona races?
No. Aren't they over?
No, not yet. We still haven't found our attorney general yet.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So apparently, the Republican guy, Abe Hamadeh, is trailing behind the Democrat, first made by about 500 votes. It's ridiculous.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, and Kerry and the whole thing, and Kerry Lake and the whole rest of the team, they refused to concede and tried to file a lawsuit because in Maricopa, during the election day, apparently 70 locations have malfunctioned with the tabulators.
Mm.
Yeah, and apparently, what is it? Oh, Katie Hart is the one who's responsible for buying and overseeing the whole tabulator machine.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know how the lawsuit's going to pan out, but at this point, Arizona is, I have very little hope for the state.
Yeah, that's kind of a mess because if you got the person that's in charge of running that part of the election also running for governor and then they win and it's a very tight race, that's a conflict of interest.
Yeah. I mean, some people say that, Brian can't do the same. But last time I checked, there's no tabulator machine that malfunction in an area that's like 70% Republican.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and also apparently the people who oversaw the election board, I think most of them supporting a PAC against MAGA candidates like Kerry Lake too.
Okay.
And also they apparently mob people who criticized the 2020 election.
Oh wow, okay.
So yeah, so this whole thing's just going down to Maricopa, and I don't know. I just have no trust in the election in Arizona, and apparently many other people too.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be pretty rough. I think they need to just tighten their elections up. I think Florida was in the same boat a few years ago, where they had kind of a laughable election process, and they went through a few things to fix it, and now it's, I probably think, the best election in the country, Florida. And, you know, I think their model should be followed all over the country, especially in a place like Arizona, where it's kind of a joke, unfortunately.
Yeah. And not to mention, Kerry Lake is also back in the primary. She ran against Karen Taylor Robeson, and apparently Maricopa had some issue with that as well. So we have to wait 3 days till we find out who's the governor, which one win the primaries. There was warning signs before that.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean the Republicans in Arizona, half of them are mega candidates, and the other ones are McCain, one who really hates MAGA and stuff like that. I don't know how to convince the McCainites to reform the election in Arizona, but it is what it is, I guess.
Right.
So I guess that's it. That's just my news reporting from Arizona. Kerry Lake is trying to sue. I don't know how that's going to win, but I'm just hoping for the best at this point. I really don't want Katie Hobbs to become governor.
Yeah,
It'll be a mess.
I understand. That would be a problem. I understand 100%.
All right, so yeah.
Well, thank you for the call, man. I appreciate
I
you.
understand you have a lot of calls, so I'm going to end this now. Thank you for your call.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. All right, shout out to the caller. 619 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey. Oh, let me get y'all speaker. Hey, this is Brandy.
All righty, what's going on?
Okay, so hold on, I'm getting some feedback. Sorry. Okay, you there?
I'm here.
Okay. All right, so just a few things. So, first of all, do you think in your mind will they ever put an age limit on how old you can be when you get into office?
I didn't hit it. I didn't quite hit it. One more time for me.
Okay, I'm asking, do you feel that at any point, you know how you have to be at least a certain age to run for president?
Yes.
Do you feel at any point they're going to make it so that you cannot be over a certain age?
Oh, okay. So
because somebody just brought up Bernie Madoff, and I'm like, come on, man, this man's almost 90.
yeah. I think that there should be an age cap, like a minimum age and also maximum age, but not just age, but also your cognitive function. I think there should be some kind of a neutral doctor or a neutral hospital you go to. And that's gonna be kind of hard to find a neutral hospital or a doctor that you can just go to and get evaluated, like a John Fetterman. It's come on, this guy may not necessarily be old, but obviously he's not able to really operate properly because he had a stroke. So it's things like that should preclude you from being in office, in my humble opinion. You shouldn't be able to run because a lot of people don't really know. They'll just vote because you're a Democrat, not even knowing that you're 95 years old, not even knowing that you had a brain injury, not even knowing that you have a serious issue that will prevent you from being able to run effectively. So that should be something that goes on. The age limit and also a cognitive function test that wouldn't be biased. You got Joe Biden, doctor talking about, Joe Biden's in great health. It's come on, man, this guy doesn't even know what today is, or where yesterday was, or what he had breakfast this morning. He has no idea what's going on. So we need to have some real reform when it comes to that.
Exactly. Okay, and then what about the World Cup in, what is it, Qatar?
They call it
Is
Qatar.
that how you spell?
You
Oh,
can
Qatar.
yeah
Okay,
yeah.
so do you feel like that's going to be the last time that they're going to have it there? Because they're like, don't come bring your alcohol in your loose ways. Like, do you feel like there's strict laws? But then at the same time, it's like, why would y'all even try to have it there? You know, these countries are very conservative, and they're just not going to allow you to go over there and run amok. But I don't know, but it just seems like maybe them not allowing the beer that possibly could hurt them from ever having it there again.
Well, they do a lot of rotating of the World Cup. They have it in different parts of the world. They had it in Brazil. They had it in South Africa. That was a great one, South Africa. I remember that one. But they have it all over the world. So, I mean, I'm not really sure that I prevent them from doing that because, you know, a lot of these places want to be real woke and they want to be inclusive. So they don't want to avoid the Muslim part because it wouldn't just be Qatar. It'd be Saudi Arabia. It'd be UAE. It'd be Iran, Iraq.
Mhm.
It'd be pretty much anywhere over there. It'd be the same way. You're not going to be able to drink and do whatever you want to do. So that could be a problem, but I'm not sure that it would be.
Okay. And then finally, have you been following the story about the young lady who went to Cabo with her friends?
I've been following it very
And
intently, yes.
what is the holdup? Like, they have a video that this poor girl was brutally beaten as her friends all watched, and nobody's been arrested.
Well, okay. Now,
Like,
there's a couple of things there. The problem is
mhm.
it happened in Mexico. So in order for that to get, for them to be arrested, they got to get sent back to Mexico. You see what I'm saying? It's a whole
Yeah.
process. You got to get extradited. So it wouldn't be as simple as, okay, you're in LA, you did it in LA, they come get you right there. Now you got to get sent back to a whole different country. So that's the whole process right there they got to go through. And then also first, it wasn't even considered to be a homicide. It was like an accident or something. Then they reclassified it. So now I think the feds got involved in the U.S. So if the feds are involved, they will work with the Mexican government and send them back to Mexico, and they'll get trial over there.
Wow, that's going to take some time. Anyway, I hope that poor girl gets some justice because that was just like, I typically don't let all this stuff around me happening bother me and affect me, but that really touched me because I just can't imagine, you know, so sickening. But
Absolutely.
anyway, well, thank you for taking my call and have a good evening.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you. All right, great call. All righty, Les, what's happening? Can you hear me?
Hey, ABL. Yes, how are you?
It's all good. About yourself?
Oh my God, good. It's been a long time.
Yes, absolutely.
No, I just want to say hi to you and to the everyone in the chat as well watching tonight. It's a good show. But I wanted to make a quick comment on that Mr. Sir dressed as a her video. I believe it was like on TikTok.
Yeah,
That was very cringe.
absolutely. I cringed very hard when I saw it because I know, like I showed it to a few women I know. I showed it to them, and they all were like, "That guy's crazy. He's nuts."
Absolutely insane. But you know what that actually reminds me of all these individuals claiming to be, you know, obviously women, but they're not. The ones that were like in these sports that obviously weren't good enough in amongst their own gender, so they have to go over and pretty much flip over to dominate the opposite gender. And so it leads me to wonder, that is that what they're trying to do here? Because, you know, manly enough, they weren't too good, so now they're trying to be feminine more.
That's what it seems like to me. Yeah, it's like, okay, I cannot work over here. It didn't really go too well, so I'll go over there and try to be the best version of myself I can. That's probably what's going on. Yeah, they couldn't swing it over there.
Right. And then that too, that what they're doing out there in what was it? It's in Los Angeles, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Where was this?
For the I think it's like the $1,200 like payments for the trans.
Yeah, San Francisco.
Yeah, it's like it's a it's a crazy world out there, let me tell you that. But I mean, what else can you expect? I mean, you're not going to expect anything different or anything positive to come out of California. And then that's the thing, you know, that the left, this is the thing that they want to try to normalize. And this is the party of what they're known for, is that they're trying to normalize. I'm not going to sit here and say crazy, because we're in a country, you're free to do whatever you want. But when you get to that point where you're just trying to normalize it, and then you're getting on, you know, TV and saying, well, basically, like who was it that came out with that documentary, remember, Matt Walsh, what is a woman? No one can answer that. Now that's just that's beyond lost. But I just want to get on here and just, I guess, ran a little bit about it. I thought it was funny, but at the same time cringe. But like I said, at the end of the day, I think we should just we need to separate from California, or California needs to separate from us. And anybody else that wants to go on there that's on that same agenda, I think should leave with California.
I agree,
'Cause
100%.
we're tired. We're tired, ABL.
We really are. It's getting to be too much.
Alrighty. No, I just wanted to make that quick comment. Oh, one other quick thing before I get off. So if anybody really buys into this whole Ukraine BS, which is BS, obviously everybody has common sense, knows that. What's funny is, I don't know if anybody has been to, I don't know if they haven't, maybe in Walmart, but Target, they have that Zelensky like book.
I've not seen this.
Yeah,
A
there's
book?
a book.
Really? With Zelensky?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I said. I remember I saw this book a while back ago, and I said to my kids, I'm like, you see, I don't understand how there's a crisis in this whole like war going on in Ukraine when, you know, when did he have time to make this book? How is this possible?
That's a good question. It's like he's always meeting with people, actors, and everybody else. It's like, okay, you're doing all this work, but what are you? Is your country really at war? What's going on? It's
Right,
crazy.
he's fighting for his life, but then yet again, like you said, meeting with actors, and now this book, it's like, I think it's rather suspicious. But then, like I said, yet again, everyone with common sense is going to call, you know, BS on that, and that's what it is. But thank you, ABL, for taking our call. Little Patriots say hi. They're asleep right now. And have a good night. Everyone in the chat as well, have a good night, and you take care. Nice show.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Bye, ABL. Bye.
All right, shout out to Les. Great call. Always a great call. She called in a lot of times with like the whole family, with the kids and everything. Shout out to the kids if you're watching. Thank you all for always supporting the show. I appreciate it. So let's go to 732. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Kevin.
All right, man. What's going on?
Yeah, that last guy you spoke to, he was a couple of guys ago.
Hold on. Before we continue, turn the stream down in the background for me, please.
All right, thought it was off. All right, so it should totally be off.
All righty.
All right, so this guy called up, and because I was listening to your whole show, and he said that Muslims don't drink, and he's wrong. Like I've been to Afghanistan, Iraq, they drink, and they're huge porn hounds. They love pornography. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, now let's be clear though. I think in between you two guys, in between what he said and what you said, is the culture that does not really permit that to be out in the open. You know, I think that's probably what he was trying to get at. Yes.
I don't know. Did I mistake what he was saying?
Now, what I'm telling you is my point of view. That's in between what you said and what he said. I think he said that they don't drink, which might be too broad of a brush. And what you're saying is that they do. Said, let me get it out. He says they don't drink. That's probably too broad of a brush to paint. You're saying they do drink. Now, what I'm saying, okay, can I talk, sir?
Sure.
Now, what I'm saying is that it's kind of in between from my point of view, from ABL point of view. I'm saying that that the culture over there does not really permit that to be out in the open the same way it is over here. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I think it's just a misunderstanding. That's all.
Well, I don't think. I mean, So they preach against it, but yet they do it. So
Right.
that's my point.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all.
yeah.
All my point is.
I agree.
So they're hypocrites, just like we are, I guess.
Yeah, but see, the only difference is now over there they had a deal with Anheuser-Busch, if I'm not mistaken, and then they canceled it because they didn't want people to be drinking. But then on Twitter, I said a while ago, I was like, hey, if you pay the right price, you could do whatever you want. You could snort cocaine, you could drink beer, whatever you want. You pay the right price. But if you're a regular normie, then you're not really supposed to be doing that. It's kind of frowned upon for the average normal person.
No, I was talking about Afghanistan and Iraq.
Okay.
When I served there.
I got you.
I'm telling you, they drink, and they have pornography all over the place. I've been there. I seized some stuff. I seized it myself, and we seized it, I should say.
Right.
Look, I'm just telling you what was going on over there, and it's the God's honest truth. Yeah, they had plenty of alcohol. They had whatever the fuck they wanted. Excuse my language, but they had everything, whatever they wanted. So they're hypocrites. That's my point.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm with you 100%.
Well, but they enslave their women, which is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I'm not saying, all of Islam or anything like that. That would be a bad thing to say. But these guys, not good. I'm telling you right now, not good.
Right on.
I'm just saying, man, they were like, they would put their women to certain standards. And I had my boots on the ground. We all had our boots. So it's just sad. It's a sad situation. And then they turn around. They turn around behind their wives' backs.
Oh, whoa. Don't go there. I know where you're going, so let's not do that. Thank you for your call, man. I appreciate it. I know he's gonna go with that. Don't do that. I know where that was going. We got kids watching, sir. You already didn't cuss, so let's not do that. But I understand what he was trying to say. He was like, look, they preach against all this alcohol and stuff like that, but they do it. Yeah, he's right. He's definitely right. And I knew he was going with that last part, and I couldn't have that because he's about to get me strikes. So let's not. All right. Let's go to 856 on the line. Who am I speaking to? 856, hello. Going once. Going twice. All right. For new callers, if you're calling in, please have your ear to the phone. You will not be able to look at the screen. There's a delay, so you'll be behind. Just keep your ear to the phone. All right. Let's go to 678. You know, line who I'm speaking to. All right. I don't know what happened there. Let's go to. Okay, calling the line. I'm taking you 347.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, hey, what's going on, ABL? I just turned down the stream in the back. Sorry, I couldn't hear you for a second.
Oh, it's all good, man. What's happening?
It's my first time calling in. I just wanted to bring up a quick point about the vaccine and immigration and stuff because my wife is she was born in China, and we've been married for almost 3 years, so we're going through the whole immigration process now. And we're getting close to the end, and she's refusing to take the vaccine, which is, I can't force her to take it. I didn't take it. I probably would take it if my family was on the line, but, hey, I'm cool with it. So this is the thing. Right now, you have to take the vaccine to become a citizen. And if you want, or if you didn't want a green card, either one. So that's just the standard right now.
Wait. Hold on. Let's slow down. So the vaccine is required to become a U.S. citizen?
First it's required to get a green card, and then if you want to become, so you have to get a green card before you become a citizen. So yeah, you have to have the vaccine to become a citizen. I'm not sure how it works. Like, let's say if you already have a green card, and then if you want to become I'm not sure how that works, so don't get me to lying. But I know for a fact if you want to get a green card right now that you have to take the vaccine. That's part of the whole medical process.
Man, it's to the point now where you might as well just come in illegally. Just come in illegal southern border, get flown to wherever you want to go, seek asylum, and just do it that way because, no vaccination required, no money really
Well, if they want a
required.
green card, if they want a green card, you got to take the vaccine. I mean, if you want to stay here illegally, that's fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like what I'm trying to tell you, like I'm just making the point that it's like why go through all of that for some people? They say, why get the vaccine? Why go through the process? Why wait years? I'll come in illegally because that's apparently okay right now. Now I'm not saying you should do that, but I'm just saying that somebody may make that decision for themselves to not even go through the legal process because of all things that are involved with it. But go ahead.
Right. Yeah. And our lawyer's saying that if she doesn't take the vaccine and then she's deemed inadmissible, then nothing's really going to happen to her. She's still going to be able to keep her Social Security number. Her work permit will expire when it expires, and she won't legally be allowed to work in the U.S. But you know how that goes.
Right.
It's not like they're going to hunt her down or anything. As long as she doesn't do anything violent or distribute tons of drugs and ends up in jail because of that, she'll be fine. Now, I read a headline today on Breitbart that said something like when Trump comes back in office, he wants to abolish all COVID mandates. Now, I just hope that this is going to be part of that. So,
well,
if we do get Trump back in office.
Yeah, hopefully all the mandates are gone like sooner than later. I see a lot of things are kind of like dropping off here and there. Hopefully all this stuff gets rescinded because it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, props to all the people that are out there, doing the immigration thing the right way. We were floored when because she got here right before the whole COVID thing and right before the whole border crisis, and we were just floored. I mean, we're going through this whole. She's doing everything the right way, and then all these people just, oh man. So I don't know. But all right, AB, I'll let you get back to the callers. You got a great show. My wife and I watch your show every Wednesday and every Saturday. So, just keep up the good work, man. We love you.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, take care.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, that sucks, though. You got to get a green card. I mean, you got to get vaccinated to get the green card. That's ridiculous. Okay, let's go to 8562. Caller, Caller, you there? Caller, can you hear me? Okay, man, having a good old time, cracking up. All righty. let's go 678. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. This is Tiffany. How are you?
Oh, well, about yourself?
I'm doing good. I wanted to call in about that fool that was talking about women don't own periods. He's a fool. And Jesus talked about people like that. And what Jesus would say to him is what he said to the Pharisees. He said, "You are of your father the devil, and the deeds of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and the truth is not in him. When he speak a lie, he speak of his own, because he's the father of lies." And that is what the mindset of these people is. It's of their father, who is the devil. That fool's father is the devil. And that is why he is speaking like that. Because the devil wants to be like God. That is why these people want to kill babies. God said be fruitful and multiply, but they want to do the opposite. They want to kill babies, and they want to create their own race of twisted, perverted people, transgender. So it's like somebody like that, we can't really, you have to laugh at them, because that's what God does. He sits in the heavens and he laughs at his enemies because he already knows his fate. He already knows that the devil is going to lose. And the devil knows he's going to lose. So all these people having these rants and stuff and talking about how you can change your gender and, talking about, he got on there talking about we have the audacity to think we own periods. You idiot. I don't own a period. I have a period because I have a uterus and they have a menstrual cycle. You don't have a uterus, so you can't have one. No matter how many drugs they pump up in you, because I did a little research, and supposedly they can drug these men up to the point where they can have a little spot here or there, supposedly.
A
I
spot?
don't know if they're
Out of where? Out of the back door?
Exactly. Supposedly. That's what I'm saying. I read some stuff in some university.
Wow.
So I don't know. Because even if they get a vagina made, it's gonna close. They have to keep I forget what it's called, but they have to do something to keep it open because it's not natural for them to have a hole there, so it will close up and turn into like a bubble.
They got dilated. They got dilated.
Yeah, thank you. Because the body is not, their bodies, men's bodies are not designed to have a hole in it because you have, what you have. I'm gonna keep it clean. So you're not gonna have a period. You don't have the equipment that a woman has. But because you are perverted, you want to turn it into something like ownership, like they try to make everything else like a social construct, something to make it a social justice initiative. So that's why he's using that language, ownership. But see, I don't even own womanhood. I am a woman. And that's how you know it's the devil, because see, the devil, he doesn't like the fact that he can't say I am. God said, I am that I am. God does not explain himself to anybody. He said, when he told Moses, he said, tell them I am sent you. He didn't have to explain who he was. He didn't have to go down this long list of 25 billion genders. He said, I am. See, they have to get all these names and have all these different explanations. And if you ever hear them talk, they try to sound like they're intelligent, but they sound like fools. Because everything, they got 92 freaking genders. Everything they say is a lie. And that is why they have to build a lie upon a lie upon a lie. And they can't produce nothing. So that's why they're trying to turn our children like them, because they can't make their own kids. It's just the devil. So you have to laugh at it. That fool is lost. He is perverted and he is lost and he can't produce nothing. So that is why he's upset and he has to try to turn it to something like ownership, because that can turn into something like a social justice initiative, and that's the language that they speak. When it's really, baby, I came from the factory. This is how I was made. This is how I was created. You can't duplicate this, honey. You never will be able to duplicate it. No matter how many surgeries you have, no matter how many hormones you take, you will never be a woman. I am a woman. I can say that. You can't. And they hate that. And that's how their father is, the devil. He hates that he can't say I am, because he's not. He will never be able to say I am. So that is why people like that, you just have to laugh at them and pray for them, because they're perverted and they're evil and they're of the devil. And so honestly, we have to stop giving those people shine, because they're lost. And that's all. I just wanted to call in and talk about that.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you. Great call.
Okay, bye.
Wow. On fire. That was a fantastic call. Let's go to 773 on the line. I'm speaking to.
ABL, it's a retired Chicago police officer friend.
All righty.
Interesting calls tonight. Hey, I agree with what Tariq was saying. The insurrection, all that was a protest that turned into a riot. Like millions, not millions, but like all the Black Lives Matter and Antifa riot protests turned into riots. Businesses were, wrecked and destroyed and everything else. And it just so happens that was in Washington, and a bunch of idiots went inside and took, selfies of them sitting on, on the judge's office and everything else. That's all that happened there. But, the news media is to the left, so they want to make it look like it's something that it wasn't. Here's the thing with Trump, and I told you before, people didn't like his personality. They're afraid of some Democrats are actually afraid of Trump. But look what happened with Trudeau and Xi, the one from China. This is a contest of alpha males here. You need a strong leader, and at least you cannot say that Trump is not forceful and strong. That he's not going to let China take advantage of us or anybody else take advantage of us financially or otherwise. And, you're going to, I lost my train of thought for 1 second there. He's not going to let that happen. So what he needs to do is he needs to run on a platform that talks about his strengths, which is, what he accomplished when he was in office. Gas prices were down. The Middle East was more settled. All these things that he accomplished while he was there, and the things that Biden now has put out of whack, the border and everything else. Stick to those issues, and less to your personality. Stick to those issues, and maybe you can win. Otherwise, people are going to be so afraid of you here in this country, what you might do and everything else, and that you're kind of on in left field, so to speak, or off base, that you're not going to get elected. And I think I want Trump to win. I want Trump to be president, and I want him to try to fix, it's like we gave Biden a China shop and he went in and broke everything, and then they're going to give it back to Trump or back to the Republicans to now try to fix up the mess that they made. The Biden administration has made such a mess of things, the stock market, the border, foreign relations and everything else, and where our money goes, and all that money that's going to overseas and everything, and all this stuff, that it's hard to fix it then. But I think you need somebody strong. You need a strong presence. If you're not strong, you see what happens? You walk away with your tail under your legs like Trudeau did. So that's my $1.25 there, ABL. Love the show, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, very good call, and that will be a wrap for me. You guys have been fantastic tonight as always. If you couldn't get on tonight, I'm sorry, but try next time I'll be live is Wednesday, of course, right before Thanksgiving. And if you're traveling this weekend, next weekend, safe travels. Have a good time. Eat plenty of food for me. I'm not sure if I'm going to travel or not. I've not decided yet. I know I'm like right here at the 0 hour. I'll make a decision pretty soon. But you guys are fantastic. Thank y'all for being here yet again. I got super chats on deck I'm going to read. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls nice and in check and the chat nice and clean. And to everybody that's been watching and sharing and retweeting or whatever, thank you for doing that. I'd appreciate you for also liking the video if you've not done that. And also share. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, super chats on deck. Let's read those right quick and then we'll wrap it on up. Thank you to the Yeti90 who says currency is digital now and they've shut down multiple people's bank accounts. Everyone needs to stop fearing and start becoming self-sufficient. The Yeti90 says, I have an interview archive where DeSantis said he wouldn't run against Trump. Tulsi does sound interesting, but I'd say it's DeSantis. Thank you to Johnny Favorich for becoming a member. I know I tore your name up, man. I'm sorry. Don't blame me. Thank you to Stewie PID for becoming a member. Thank you to Boat vs. Windshield who says Logan's Run is coming true. 1970s movie. Also, August 24th, 1814, the British burned down D.C. and we survived. One building does not make our country. Facts. Thank you to Santo Bartez who says the poll Musk put online was a honeypot for those bot farms out there. I imagine his developers got regular information from that poll. Oh, yeah, they did. 15 million responses. They got a lot of information from that poll. Thank you to the Yeti90 who says, I'm a Muslim, I don't drink. What does the book say? You judge based off of that, not people failing to uphold. And now I've deployed there too. Thank you for your comment. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you to AKNL who says, this is for Tiffany. Thank you to Bob K MIT who says, I will match for Tiffany. Hey, girl was on fire. Yes, she was. Shout out to her. And thank you to Johnny again who says, I sure hope Trump doesn't choose Marjorie Taylor Greene as his running mate. What say you? I mean, that's kind of like, that's a little bit too obvious. I don't think he'll do something like that. I think it would be kind of like the whole Pence thing because, he chose Pence because he was like the opposite. He's more of a laid back kind of guy. You're not going to have two, fiery people on the same ticket. That made no sense. That's not he didn't do it in the beginning. He wouldn't do it at the end. So I don't see that happening. Thank you, Baka MIT, man. If I come on the Hampton Roads, I'll let you know, man. We'll grab that tea. But that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.